Is it too early to activate my animated shield?
Ah! Well, you better shout out auto defense straight. Get it flying around you, and Bulb can say vomit, and you're all protected.
We here at Sconeland Industries would like to initiate an official apology for any damages caused to the city of Chult yesterday while putting the Mezro.
We
have no regrets on the matter, but we're just apologizing to make ourselves feel better.
So we are beginning the third module of our campaign today, the Lost City of Mesrow. This is the module that will wrap everything up and bring the campaign to its conclusion. If this campaign was Pokemon, we are now entering the post-game.
Ooh.
So let us begin.
Very nice. Very nice. I like that.
Does that mean Bobbitt's the champion?
Well, maybe, yes.
No, she's not.
In her own right, she is.
So, let us begin now. The city of Mesrow once stood as a shining beacon of hope, safety, and stability for the people of Chult. Protected by the mighty Barre, the holy city was the centre of most of Chult's civilization for thousands of years. Symbol of power for the creator god Uptown, holy bastion once guarded against the dark forces who sought to corrupt and harness Chult's mystic energies as their own. Now, it is little more than a shadow of its former self, ravaged by Russ and C's conquest and the Spell Plague. These ruins have long since been plundered for its remaining treasures. There are still those, however, that believe the once splendid city still exists as it was. Restoring Mesrow to its former greatness and save those trapped within would be a major step in returning Chult to its intended state, a region where life flourishes and the creatures live in harmony with the land under the guidance of Uptown. Right now, you are being led through Wakangas Manor by one of his aides dressed in a white cloak. He's leading you through the twisting hallways lit by flickering torchlight, guarded by floating swords and shields. When you arrived at Wakanga's estate first thing this morning, you were let through the gates almost immediately and met by a member of the staff ready to escort you to Wakanga. Perhaps Wakanga and his staff as eager as you to get to the bottom of the strange events of yesterday.
So, have we had a long rest since?
Yeah, you've had a long rest. It's been a day.
Okay.
And so,
Awesome.
as you, even now, as you pass yet another stairwell flanked by flying swords, Wakanga's aide turns around and he bows and he says, "Once again, Master Wakanga apologizes for what happened yesterday. Please, we hope it does not make you trust the merchant princes any less, especially as you have done so much for us and the people of Chult." Come along, says the aide, as he leads you up the stairs and...
I had a mouthful of food. I was going to say, it's not a problem. It's
Bobbitt's not saying anything. She's just eyes firmly set on her feet.
not a problem. These things happened, and on our behalf, we probably went a little bit overboard, taking out this Zentarum.
Wakanga will be glad to see you. He has been very worried since he heard of the attack of the Zentarim. And with this, you are led into Wakanga's meeting room / lounge. A big, open, marbled room flanked with white marble columns and floor tiles polished to a mirror sheen. The very center of the room decorated with luxurious carpets and cushions. Wakanga, as you enter, has his back to you. He is standing in the doorway leading out to the balcony, his dark skin and dreadlocks shining in the tropical sun. He is currently reading a piece of parchment that he has unfurled in front of him. As he hears your footsteps on the tiles, he looks over his shoulder, points towards the cushions and says, thank you for coming. I will be with you momentarily. Please make yourselves comfortable. Do you take your seats?
Mm-hmm.
Zinhorn does not.
Yes.
I was just gonna sit quietly.
Oh, we'll try and find the largest chair that's not Wakanga's and sit in that.
So, Bulb, you have to grab 3 or 4 of the cushions and sort of pile them together to be able to support your size. But then you sit down on it and seem to be proud of yourself that you thought of such a solution. Meanwhile, next to you, Sir Lucian is just staring at each of the cushions in turn, and he's just saying, well, this is just cushions on the floor. It's nothing like my private lounge up at the race course.
God.
Wow, he really is headstrong, isn't he?
I should have brought... And Sir Lucian, at this point, you're wishing that you brought Colin, your squire, with you, because he does indeed have a folding chair on his person at all times, and that would have perhaps been more comfortable than Wakanga's assorted cushionry.
Can I get Sir Lucian just to unfurl his magic carpet? He says,
Just sit
"It is
on
fine. I do not touch the ground. You understand?"
So you unfurl your flying carpet, and then you sit cross-legged on the middle of it. Say the command word and rise about a foot off the ground so that you're not sitting on the floor.
Can I reassure everyone at the table just say it's okay? I don't wish to offend anyone, but I clearly value my own hospitality more than yours.
Well, it's still not saying anything. She's just refuses to say anything after yesterday. She's not.
You hear Wakanga clear his throat. He turns around and folds up the piece of parchment in front of him, and then stows it into his white cloak. A missive from the Grung of Dungrunglang, he says as he walks towards you. They have reached out to us and wish to open their arms in the interests of profitable friendship. They wish to open trade agreements with us here in Port Nyanzaru. Ava has been through their village on her mission that she was assigned by the Emerald Enclave. I received a similar missive 10 days ago from the Arakokra of Mezro, also seeking to open their arms in trade.
That's what she's up to.
It's at this point, Zinhorn, that you remember in the last couple of months, you tasked Ava with a mission. The first, as Archdruid of the Emerald Enclave, to restore balance to Chult, to reach out to all of the indigenous races of the continent and help bring them together in harmony, which she appears to be doing adequately. The other mission that you assigned her is one so secret that in order to prevent anyone from learning of it and intercepting Ava's passage, you meditated for several days to remove the memory of this mission from your own mind. At this point, you can only hope that on both missions, Ava is doing well and is in no danger, or at least is capable of handling herself if she does run into any trouble. Wakanga walks towards you and he takes a bow as he steps towards you, and he says, "Please, first I would like to apologize for what happened yesterday. Jobal insisted that I not use a courier to send a message. He insisted that I use the scroll of communication to inform you to summon you to my manor. However, it has been 3 months. I do not know who has the scroll in possession, or furthermore, even if it has survived this long. And so I am afraid, in my naivety, I decided to send a message the old-fashioned way, and sadly have it intercepted by our enemies. He reaches into his coat and withdraws a small leather pouch. He walks over to where Bulb is sitting on a pile of cushions and hands it to Bulb. And he says, Bulb, I saw, your kobolds are making very good business here in Port Nianzaru, if you have not been told already. After you put the means of the arrangement in their hands, they contacted us, the merchant princes. We made an arrangement with them that they would make 1 shipment to Port Nianzaru of weapons and armor, 1 per month, and that the merchant princes would pay a fixed sum of 400 gold pieces for each shipment. 200 of this would go to the kobolds, the other 200 to be placed into my care, to be handed to you at a convenient juncture. He gestures towards the pouch and he says, and so, you will find it there. 800 gold pieces, the payment for the last 4 shipments that have been made. He says, I am told that the goods made by the kobolds are quite popular within the city. Of course, I only deal in scrolls and magic items, so I have nothing to do with the distribution, but I have been holding your money and will continue to do so.
Thank you for taking care of this matter while I have been dead.
Was it disposed of?
I like to think that Bob would just go, well, I've been dead.
Yeah. You open up the pouch bowl, but sure enough, there are 800 gold coins within. Unlike the ones that the false Jubal gave you yesterday, these are stamped with the symbol of Port Nianzaru, a tabaxi head.
Okay, well, I will pocket it for now and distribute it later.
You also, Bulb, don't really understand money, but you're still smiling inwardly as you realise that somehow you've doubled up on the profits, as you still have the money that the false Jobal gave you yesterday.
Yes, I realised that. I would have realised at least that much. That we got free money yesterday.
I was gonna say, how nice of them to pay for their own demise.
Yeah. They paid for their own assassinations.
Wakanga bows his head. He says, I hope you will find it satisfactory. Please, wait here, pour yourselves a cup of tea if you wish. I will retrieve the guest who has been very eager to speak to you all. And with that, he leaves the room. A steaming teapot sits on a small wooden table in the very center of the carpeted area. 5 porcelain cups are arranged around it. Do you do anything while Wakanga is gone?
Zinhorn's just going to have a look around the place and just make sure nothing seems out of the ordinary after what happened yesterday.
Yep, so Zinhorn would like you to please make a perception check.
That is a 16, so passive higher.
You look around the room, taking in all of its contents. You see a small beaded archway, a small archway to the right of the room, flanked with beads, that leads to Wakanga's personal scroll library. You see a doorway that leads out to the balcony out the front, and along the sides of this room you see yet more wooden shelves groaning under the weight of scrolls and books. It all appears to be in order. The room is The room is immaculately cleaned and organized for guests, and if anything strange were to happen, your assailants have gone to great lengths to ensure that there's nothing to put you on alarm.
Fair enough.
Bob's
it's
just
just
gonna make
gonna-
himself a cup of tea.
Yep.
Yeah, Bobbitt's going to just awkwardly wait for him to finish making his and get one for herself.
So you both pour cups of tea, and you drink them, and you recognize the tangy, sweet taste of dancing monkey fruit that's been distilled into tea. The same thing that Wakanga served for you the first time he met you in his manor, and this perhaps puts your hearts at ease, for if someone was pretending to be Wakanga, then it would be unlikely that they would know the specific type of tea that he serves his guests. So you quietly sip your tea, and a few minutes later, Wakanga returns into the room, leading behind him a strange-looking man. This man appears to be human. He is pale-skinned, he has long shoulder-length black hair, and a black goatee, and as he steps into the room, he surveys you all with narrow, grey-coloured eyes. When his gaze sets upon Alessander, it lingers there for a moment. He gazes at Alessander for several seconds before looking away. Wakanga gestures towards you all with his right hand and says, "I would like you to meet Mr. Artis Climber." The man steps forwards and he takes a bow and he says, "Pleased to meet you. Most of all, Lady Alessander, I'm at your service." And with that, he flourishes and steps up to Alessander and bows so low that his mouth almost kisses the tiles.
Bobbit sort of just laughs weakly and just goes, apologies? Wait. Alessander isn't in right now, but it's nice to meet you anyway. My name's Bobbit.
Artis Climber stands up. He looks Bobbit up and down, and then he frowns and he says, "Well, I did not believe it when I heard it that Lady Alessander had returned, and furthermore was one of the ones responsible for ending the death curse. But now, standing here, seeing you do indeed appear to be the spitting image of Alessander."
Oh, no. Well, she is Alessander. Well, this buddy is Alessander's. I'm sort of a tag-along. It's a long story, but it's nice to meet you. You're the guy who stole the ring from the giants, right? We heard about you. So looks the rest of the group going, yeah, no, remember, he's the guy that made the whole cold place in the middle of the jungle.
With this, Artis Climber raises his right hand, and there on the index finger, you notice a glimmering blue ring. Artis smiles and says, "Indeed, the Ring of Winter. And I did not steal it from the giants, I merely took it back. This ring is a treasure of the Barret of Mezrow, and I was merely performing my duty by taking it back from the giants who plundered it from the ruins of the city."
Oh, well, that's fun.
He looks away from Alessander, smiling and saying nothing, and he briefly looks at the rest of you. His gaze lingers on Zinhorn, and he says, then he nods and he says, "And now I truly believe it, for if I'm not mistaken, you are Zinhorn Aloro." son of Elysia and Alwyn Aloro, who were diplomats in Mesrow on the day of Rustness's attack.
Oh shit.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
So far, you were correct.
He
Still
says,
just having that look of untrust.
he says, very well. There's no need for formalities, so I will cut to the chase. I am Artis Clymer. I am a court wizard of Mesrow and a servant to the Barret, the Chosen of Uptown. Before the fall of Mesrow, I had been assigned specifically to the task of educating Lady Alessander in the ways of the Arcane.
Okay, we're just gonna quickly switch out here. Alessander comes back almost immediately going, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that last part? Sorry, actually Alessander this time.
He looks at you, he smiles, and he says, that sounds like Lady Alessander. Surely you remember me, Artis Clymer, your teacher, your tutor in the ways of the Arcane. Unfortunately, our education did not get to progress very far before Mesrow fell to its fate.
Oh, this is... Quick question, how long have you been waiting to reunite with me? I need to know how awkward this is going to get.
With this, Artis simply smiles and he says, luckily, or perhaps unluckily, I was not in Mesrow on the day of Rustness's attack. And so whatever spell, whatever magic resulted in Rustnessy being expelled and the population of Mesrow disappearing did not affect me. However, I remembered the orders that your father, Lord Rayburton, had imparted upon me in the event of Rustness's attack. That was to guard Mesrow, whatever would be left of it, and to bide my time, wait until Rustnessy had been destroyed, and then restore Mesrow to its former glory.
Are you an elf, by any chance?
He smiles and simply says, no, well, that's an interesting story. You see, in the very first year of Mesrow's disappearance, a giant expedition came to Chult. An expedition of frost giants, and they took the ring of winter with them. I pursued them across the sea to their home, took the ring back, and, well, I thought the best place to keep the ring safe would be to attune to it myself. Perhaps I could use its powers to defend Mesrow from anyone else who would seek to plunder it, or the giants if they would return. And, well, that's the thing. It appears the ring grants its wearer immortality. And so I've spent the last 200 years journeying throughout Chult, occasionally fleeing from the occasional expedition of giants who still doggedly pursue me to this day, trying their very best to get the ring back, but they still believe I stole from them. I've spent this time researching what may have happened to Mesrow, how to bring it back as I was instructed, and how to ensure that the plague of Rustnessy is no longer upon the land. And then, what do you know? I hear that Rustnessy is destroyed, the death curse put to an end, and all of the souls in Port Nyanzaru are hailing Lady Alessander. Yes, the Lady Alessander, as the architect who brought this about. And so, I returned to Port Nyanzaru as soon as I could, introduced myself to the merchant princes, and instructed them to have Alessander and her party report to me at the earliest possible opportunity. He smiles, shakes his head, and says, "Perhaps if our paths had crossed during your journey to stop the death curse, we could have already accomplished so many of the steps required to restore Mezro, but alas, fate has brought us together now. We have no time to waste, so let us get to the task of restoring the glory of Mesrow, and along with it, curing the blight that has taken a hold of Chult, finding a way to restore Ubtau's grace to this continent, and cleansing away the stench of Ras Nasi and his dark energies once and for all." He smiles, folds his arms, and waits to see if any of you have any reaction to his tale.
Alessander's basically just sitting there going, so what you're saying is if we'd been able to find you earlier and tracked you down while we were in Chult, we could have gotten so many answers about our past a long time ago, correct?
Artus flourishes his hair and smiles and says, "Yes, but I think that's all academic now. Fate didn't transpire to put us together, and yet here we are now, so let us not cry over spilt milk."
Oh, just frowns when he was describing how everyone reappeared or was able to come back and was cheering just Lady Alessander, but doesn't say anything.
Look at me.
And Sir
that's why I didn't say anything.
You see Sir Lucian's just pursed his lip as he sits there on his carpet. Artus takes another bow.
I was running for a different reason than Sir Lucian.
Yeah, okay. Different fucking reason. Bob or Alessander will just put a hand up going, well, having the approval of the people is nice. We definitely did not accomplish this alone. In fact, we would never have even gotten that far without everyone else here. But could you excuse me for just half a moment? This whole wonderful revelation of finding someone that knows my past is a tad troubling, especially knowing we could have found you well before we got into that wretched tomb. Bobbit needs a minute. And just casually teleports out of the fucking room.
Leaving everyone else with Artus. Artus looks at the empty cushion where Bobbit used to be. Then he frowns and he simply says to himself, Lady Alessander has changed in 200 years. Very well. He looks to the rest of you. He says, I'm sure you've all heard how Ubtau left Chult, turned his back on the people shortly before Ras Nasi launched his conquest of the continent, before the spell plague ravaged the land. He says...
Oh, actually, I wasn't there for that, so no.
Do you say anything, Bulb?
No, Bulb doesn't say. I was going to say something, but then I remembered that Bulb was dead by that point. So
yeah, he was.
He doesn't actually know about that. So he's just leaning forward, slightly interested.
He simply says, Chultan legend states that at the dawn of time, Ubtau came from the Feywild and breathed life into the jungles, making them ripe and fertile, able to support life, using the dinosaurs to spread life throughout the jungle. Ubtau guided the Tabaxi Empire, allowed them to grow to their peak, with Mesrow as the holy city in the very center of the empire. Then, it is said, the people of Chult turned away from Ubtau's teachings, began to become more concerned with material matters, began to neglect the bond that tied them to the land, tied them to the jungle, and with that, Ubtau's influence began to wane until he departed Chult entirely. And the breath of Ubtau, which brought life to the jungle, also began to fade. Evil forces of corruption began to fester within the jungles of Chult, allowing Rus Nasi and other evils to rise. And now, as you could see, Chult is nothing like its former self. The jungles still fester with evil creatures. The dinosaurs have gone mad, attacking the inhabitants of the jungles. The jungles themselves infested with all manner of undead and other unspeakable horrors. He says, I feel that the disappearance of Mesrow and the loss of Ubtau are connected to this. And I have spent most of the last 2 centuries researching this matter. In recent days, my efforts have finally gained me some concrete leads into where the true Mesrow and all of its inhabitants may be hidden. For if we can restore them, we'll be one step closer to bringing Ubtau back to Chult and breathing life once again into the land, allowing the races and civilizations of Chult to thrive once more. One of the rumors I came upon is of an ancient enchantment. An ancient enchantment cast by Ubtau himself to protect the jungles of Chult from outside forces and to expel any evil that would take root. This enchantment is known as the Daijobi Senga, or, if I were to translate it from ancient Tabaxi, the heart of the wild. It is a mystical essence that connects the jungle to the spirits of the Feywild. These guardian spirits of the Feywild are believed to have been part of the ancient empire that arose when humans and Tabaxi first settled in Chult, the very first agents of Ubtau. I believe that this enchantment and whatever magic Master Rayburton used to safeguard Mezro from Ras Sea may be connected, if not, indeed, the very same magic. And so, reawakening this power is only the first step to a much larger puzzle. Restoring the Daijobi Senga will begin a chain of revival, allowing us to systematically root out the corruption across Chult, which, I hope, will allow us to restore Ubtau's influence to the continent, perhaps learning of the cause of this corruption and putting an end to it once and for all. He smiles and waits to see, graciously, if any of you have any questions.
But at this point, the Bobbit just comes, teleports straight back to where she was sitting, hair very out of place and looking like she's been screaming for a solid 5 minutes. Just, okay, back, all good now. What did we miss?
Hardest Climber just groans and shakes his head. And then he gestures towards the rest of you and says, Please, please, the fate of Chult rests on your shoulders. If you have any questions, by all means, I will take them.
I'm going to have to leave question time.
But don't know where to start.
Master Aloro, start where you feel it is most appropriate, and I will do my best to grant you the wisdom that you seek.
did you know about my parents?
He
and
says,
their
well,
disappearance?
he says, although I was not there on the day when Rasmussen arrived, I was there in the days preceding it. I was one of the party that welcomed your parents to the city. Indeed, while I was to be absent from the city, I allowed you and your parents to take residence within my personal chambers in the Temple of Uptown.
What is it that you said you were doing that called you away from Mesrow at the time?
He looks at you, and he frowns, and he says, that is a question I've asked many times over the last 200 years. You see, I'm still not sure why Master Ray Burton sent me from the city. Perhaps he knew what was to come, and knew that he would require an agent outside of Mesrow to be able to watch and wait for the appropriate time to restore the city. He merely told me that he had felt the essence of Uptown waning, that he had felt corruption, forces of the Shadowfell taking root within the jungles of Chult, and that it was my duty to watch, wait, and learn all that I could. He frowns.
Why was I... No, I was going to say, as he gets past that, because that reminds me of another equally important question, why was I sent from the city?
He says, alas, another question I cannot answer. Please believe me, I was very surprised to hear rumors that Lady Alessander had returned. As far as I knew, you were with all the others of Mesrow, safe wherever the population of Mesrow awaits, awaiting the time when Rasnasi would fall, and I would take the steps to restore Mesrow myself. However that would be done.
Wonderful. The one question I wanted to know, and yet still no answers.
He says, I've come to believe, after all this time, that perhaps the reason for my departure from the city, the rising corruption within the jungles of Chult, the departure of Uptown, the onslaught of Rasnasi, and maybe the premature return of Lady Alessander are all connected, all part of the same puzzle. The puzzle that, if we are to complete it, will restore Chult to its former glory. Is there anything else? He says. You have the floor.
Oh, I have a question. I'm just not asking it because I know there's only going to be problems if I do. Out of character, we'll just say for the whole simple fact of going, what happens if Rasnasi is only like 99.99% destroyed? But we'll leave that question alone until it comes up later.
Don't mention that.
Yeah, Alessander and Bobber are kind of trying to take all this wonderful new information in. Well, there is one question I've been curious about. I don't...
Artus simply smiles and waits.
Really wiped at a certain point. I suspect I know the...
Yep, go ahead. Sorry, I was just prompting you.
when it comes to, well, this meeting. Yeah.
Artus just smiles.
So,
yep.
We know of our father. We've had visions of a sport in regards to that. Oh, sorry, I'll let him respond first, then I'll get to the end of the question.
Artus merely just smiles and says, well, Uptown may be gone from Chult, but I still believe that Uptown wishes the best for the Chultan people, and so he has woven fate to bring us together on this day, after all this time.
Lovely, lovely fate and all that. There's a personal question. It's not really one that is of great importance, but we know of our father. Could you tell us something about our mother?
Ah, your mother, Lady Ray Burton. Yes, Indeed, she was a wonderful tabaxi. A tabaxi...
I was going to say, the second he says that, just Bobbit chimes in going, wait, tabaxi as in the people tabaxi, or as in the cat people tabaxi?
The feline people from where the name to... The feline people who took the name tabaxi to refer to their own race.
Bobbit, Alessandra's part kitty cat.
He says, unfortunately, I did not have the pleasure to get to know her well. She passed away from illness when you were very young, and when I had only just begun my studies within the city of Mesrow. But to hear tales from the people of Mesrow rubs against furniture was one of the kindest, most serene tabaxi one could ever meet, and in the short time that she was able to know you, Alessander, you were the light of her world.
Oh, I should have muted myself for that. I'm so sorry. That was a very touching moment, and I just lost it on the name. Apologies. Oh, yeah, no, Bobbit stops laughing at that point that she's not around anymore. That's...
Arthur simply bows his head and says, indeed, if we had progressed further in our education, I was to instruct you on the ways of the ancient tabaxi, both the Chult tribe and the tabaxi race who came from Maztica. I was to instruct you on some of the ancient customs of Maztica, as instructed by your late mother. Warms my heart to hear that at the very least you have remembered my instruction in the tabaxi language. Still know how to use it today. And it would warm your mother's heart as well.
Aww.
He claps his hands together, bows his head, and says, now to the task ahead. Something that must be done if we are to honor the memory of Rubs Against Furniture and restore Chult to the way it was when she was alive. I have been following several leads to find out what happened to Mezro. As I've stated, I've heard rumors of the heart of the wild, the enchantment left on the land by Ubtau's agents, and an essence of Feywild magic. I've been looking into what happened to this enchantment, how it faded, and whether it would be possible to bring it back. Now, there was one tribe of the Tabaxi Empire who were tasked with maintaining and watching over this enchantment, the Obanachi Clan. The Obanachi Clan have been in hiding for quite some time, perhaps to escape the wrath of Rus Nasi, and with the fall of Rus Nasi, I've been able to learn of their whereabouts. There is an old sage by the name of Wainwrath, a member of the Obanachi Clan, who I feel may possess the knowledge of the heart of the wild that we need in order to restore it. Wainwrath resides in a village to the east of here that goes by the name of Tamulka. For the last several decades it has been hidden within the depths of the jungle, not marked on any map, but with the fall of Rus Nasi, members of the Obanachi Tribe, scouts, have begun to make their presence known, trying to establish contact once again with the other tribes of Chult, and it was through one of these scouts that I was able to learn the location of Tamulka village. And so, Lady Alessander, Master Zinhorn, and the rest of you valiant heroes, I would ask that you journey to Tamulka village and speak with Wainwrath about the Daijobi Senga, the heart of the wild, and learn all you can about why it faded away. Whether it is connected to the departure of Uptow, whether this Feywild magic is indeed what Master Rayburton used to squirrel away the population of Mesrow, and how, if possible, we may restore it. He smiles. He says, I understand that you are heroes of some stature, and although I would like to think that restoring Chult to its former glory would be motivation enough for your assistance, I will be willing to offer you all a reward of 250 gold pieces each if you meet with Wainwrath in my stead and return with information on where to find the source of the Heart of the Wild.
Sinhorn's just going to take this moment to do an insight to just... Can we trust...
Yep,
everything?
Go ahead, make an insight check.
You do that, I'm still taking on information here.
That is a 15.
Artist Climber's task, his quest, seems to be genuine, but you wonder why he hasn't simply made contact with this Wainwrath himself. After all, he possesses the Ring of Winter and is more than capable of travelling through the jungle to Tamolka village.
That is a good question.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, if the dude's practically immortal, he'd have an easier time than any of us put together.
So, why is it that you require our assistance with this task?
He smiles and he says, well, the answer is simple. The Obanachi Clan have been in hiding for decades, and if they were to share any valuable information with anyone, who better than Lady Alessander and a representative of the elven Druid circles of Bakumora? He frowns and says, in addition, there are other matters that I must attend to that prevent me from making the journey myself. While you are travelling to Tamolka and speaking with Wainwrath, I will be here in Port Nyanzaru, taking advantage of Wakanga's hospitality to research several other leads. He just trails off and looks away. Perhaps there is more to the story, but at the moment he is not willing to share it.
Well, as long as we're on the same page about not sharing everything.
He looks back towards you, and Wakanga steps forward and stands beside him. And Wakanga looks at you all, and then he says, well, you have heard the man's case, and might I say, I personally am very intrigued. Will you accept his quest?
Oh, agrees.
Well, this is what Alessander's been waiting for a while, so yeah, no question there.
Bulb's all down for it because it's restoring the balance.
Zinhorn knows that he'll get some answers potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Zinhorn will definitely get answers.
Yeah, Zinhorn and Bob are both also in the same boat on this one.
Zinhorn's just going to go, well, whereabouts would we find this location you're speaking of?
Artist Climber says, on foot it is about 8 days' travel to the east, in the shadow of the Mistcliff Mountains, not far from the easternmost coast of Chult. Here, I will mark its location on your map of the continent. He steps forwards and marks the location of Tamolka village on your map.
There it is.
Wakanga smiles and says, well, with that, I would say, for you, back out into the belly of the beast, my friends. Once more into the jungles of Chult, but do not worry, you will be traveling in style and luxury with this time. He says, please, follow me. And with that, he stands up and begins to walk across the the marbled tiles. He stands once again in the door leading out to the balcony that overlooks the city. It gestures for you all to join him.
Real quickly, Dale.
Yep.
Is this the guy that organised the guides for us, or was that a different
No,
prince?
that was Jobal.
Jabal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glad he's doing okay, by the way. Because I was kind of worried after the last session, the whole, they took Joe Ball's identity. Oh shit, is Joe Ball okay?
Yeah, no, he's fine. They just, that's why
Fine.
they couldn't quite get. That's why they had to cover up because they couldn't quite take his form exactly because they couldn't get close to him. So.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So you all get up and you join Wakanga in the balcony, and you all stifle a gasp as there you see it, floating in the sky above the city is the Star Goddess, the Halruan airship. Its propellers spinning, blowing gusts of wind down towards Wakanga's manor, buffeting your hair and clothes all around you. Standing on the bow of the ship, clad in a bright yellow cloak, is Thessalandra Bravewing, the captain of the ship. She raises a hand to her mouth and then, thaumaturgically amplified, calls out to you. I thought before we returned to Halrua that perhaps we could assist you in bringing Mesrow back, she calls out.
They're walking.
She says, we'll take you anywhere you wish to go.
Oh, hell yeah, we're at this point of the Final Fantasy bit. We got the airship, boys.
Meet us outside the city gates, and you could board and discuss your itinerary. And then, yep.
They say, yay, going on adventure.
With that, she takes a bow, still standing at the edge of the airship, and she says, consider this thanks for saving our lives and allowing us to get the ship back in working order. With that, she steps down off the front of the ship, takes her spot behind the helm, and grabs hold of the wheel, and with a rush of air and noise, the airship ascends into the clouds and begins to make its way beyond the city walls. Wakanga simply smiles and says, well, there you have it. He says, I wish you well on this venture. I will ensure that Mr. Clymer has access to any resources he requires while he is here. Now, if you will excuse me, I have business matters to attend to.
Before he heads off,
yep,
with the other two gentlemen, Zinhorn's going to look over and go, would you by chance have any supplies that would assist us? We've had poor experiences in the sky before, and some of us, that looks over directly at Alessander or Bobbit, have a knack for getting us wounded.
Hey!
Wakanga smiles and he says, I will pass word along to one of my aides. Expect a crate of healing supplies to be loaded on the airship.
Thank you. I feel much better of this one's survival.
With that, Artist Clymer bids you farewell and good luck. You are escorted once again through the torchlit hallways of Wakanga's manor, the floating swords and shields standing at attention as you pass by, heroes who are going to restore Chult to its former glory, or at least Artis hopes. And a mere 20 minutes later, you stand outside the gates of Port Meanderer. Yep.
Before we do that, did Azaka, the guide that I took the quest for, leave a way for me to contact her.
Would you like to say you did that? Would you like to leave would you like to leave word of that with Wakanga?
Yeah, sure, that'll do. Yeah, I just want to leave word that I have the mask and I'm ready to hand it in next time that we're both in the city.
You actually attempted to get in contact with her when you returned to Port Nyanzaru 3 months ago, but you couldn't seem to locate her. And so you decide to leave the mask with Wakanga, and he informs you that if anyone knows where any of the guides are, it would be Jobal, and he will ask Jobal if he can find Azaka for you. He has heard that shortly after you departed from Port Nyanzaru that she was employed by someone else, and he did not hear where she went or whether she returned, but he is confident that Jobal will know how to put you in touch with her. He says, look forward to hearing word about this matter the next time you return to Port Nyanzaru after you've been to Tamulka village.
And Bob would leave a note with the mask.
What would you like to say?
Just a small note saying, we found your mask, your family's bites hurt. Bye!
And so now you stand outside the gates of Port Nyanzaru on the edge of the Chultan jungles, the star goddess hovering a couple of feet off the ground, its propellers blowing leaves and branches and tufts of grass all around the landing site of the airship. As you approach the ship, you see several crew members helping one of Wakanga's aides load a wooden crate onto the ship. They've wrapped ropes around it, have affixed hooks to the ropes, and are using a winch on the deck of the airship to lift it up. As you approach, once the winch pulls the crate off the ground and the crew member begin to turn levers and cranks, turning the winch around and lowering the crate onto the deck of the ship, Wakanga's aide salutes you all and calls out, "A crate of healing potions as requested, sirs and ma'ams." And then, dragging his cloak around him to protect him from the gusts of wind buffeting out from the propellers, scurries back beyond the city gates. You hear Thessalandra's thaumaturgically amplified voice. "Clamber aboard when ready, friends! I'll let down the rope ladder!" And with that, a single crew member waves to you all and lets down a rope ladder that hangs over the side of the ship, allowing you to board.
While we were travelling down, I also would have distributed the coins, 200 each.
Of course. Is there anything you wish to do before you board?
No. Bob, I think, has everything that he needs for now.
Zinhorn just looks over at Bobbit and goes, "Whilst we're in the air, if you please try not to burn us all back to the ground."
No. Yeah. And just a very sad look on her face, almost immediately replaced with annoyance. Salisanda kicks in and goes, "Look, I understand your needs and your reasons for being mad, but we will continue to insist that this was not our intentions."
It may not have been your intentions, but it did happen.
And so you each climb the rope ladder one by one, and the last of you to climb up is Zinhorn, trying his very best to stay on the ground for as long as possible. And as you climb the rope ladder, Zinhorn, to your left you hear the hum of Sir Lucian's carpet as he hovers past you, riding his carpet up onto the airship rather than climbing the rope ladder. You scramble over the side of the ship and join the others on the deck. now that the ship is reassembled and in working order, you're able to get a good look of it. The name airship is appropriate. For the most part, it looks almost identical to a seafaring vessel. The deck is laid out exactly how you would expect from a ship. There are grates in the middle of the deck allowing cargo to be lowered down to the cargo hold. There's a staircase right at the very bow of the ship that allows the crew to descend below deck. Beyond that is a small raised section of deck with a door leading to the captain's chambers. There is even a set of 3 sails hanging from wooden masts along the length of the deck that allow the ship to catch the wind when it's in the air, to change and guide its direction. "Hold on to something!" barks Thessalandra. "Anchors away! Let's catch the afternoon wind!" And with that, the propellers begin to spin faster and faster until they turn into nothing more than a grey, circular blur. The airship lifts off the ground, and the jungles of Chult begin to grow smaller and smaller beneath you, until the airship reaches the clouds. A gust of wind buffets everyone on board the deck, and all 3 of the sails balloon out, catching the sky wind, and the ship begins to travel. Okay, I'd like everybody to start by rolling a con save.
Yay! Bob gets to throw up the entire trip again.
You might be okay this time. Oh no. Well, you might be okay. Bobbit is not. That's a 6 for Bobbit.
A con save.
Hooray.
Yeah, I got a 4.
Okay, so you and I are just hanging off the same side of the ship.
Yeah.
No, Bulb's extended his roots and he's just hanging upside down from the bottom, just swaying and throwing up constantly.
Bob gets at one point, just casts fucking spider climb, walks down under and joins him.
And how did Sir Lucian go?
He got 15 plus whatever else. Yes.
Okay, so
15 plus whatever the fuck he gets, so he's probably fine and dandy.
The first few hours of airship travel are quite eventful, as the crew darts back and forth, hoisting the rigging, turning the sails to catch the wind as it changes direction. The rest of you stand there at various points of the deck, trying to get used to the ship, swinging from left to right, losing altitude and then raising altitude again very suddenly, juddering and shittering and flinching as it sails through the sky. Sir Lucian and Zinhorn, you feel sick for the first hour or so, but then your hardy constitution takes over, and before 2 hours have passed, the feelings of nausea that welled up inside you are gone, and before long you find yourselves assisting the crew with their tasks, helping them adjust the sails, pull the pulleys and rigging to keep the ship flying as fast as it can. Bulb and Bobbit, however, spends the first day of travelling hanging over the side of the airship, throwing up, the nausea having fully taken over, and you expel several globules of vomit down into the clouds to rain upon unsuspecting souls in the jungle far below. And so,
fine.
Bobbit and Bulb, you have a level of exhaustion for
Yay!
this first airship ride. So the airship can travel 4 hexes per day. So from Port Nyanzaru, you are told by Captain Bravewing that if the airship is able to catch the wind and stay in the wind, and if the wind does not blow against the airship, then you should be able to reach Tamulka within 2 days. So, the first day is quite smooth sailing. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first day allows you to make steady progress on the journey. Looking down over the side of the ship, you can see nothing but the milky whiteness of a sea of clouds and occasional patches of green beyond that, the jungles far below. You're unable to tell where you are, but Captain Bravewing and her crew inform you that you're over halfway to your destination. And so as the first day of travel comes to an end, who would like to roll the encounter check?
Oh, right. Encounters are a thing.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to roll just because I know how my luck with this usually goes. So let's get this out of the way already.
Yep, go ahead. Roll an encounter check.
I can't remember. Was high good or bad?
It's a D20, and if it's 15 or higher, that's an encounter.
Right, it's a 9.
It's a 9. So this first day ends without any trouble, and as the sun goes down and as the milk white clouds turn into a sea of inky blackness around you, you eat a hearty meal of rations in the mess hall below deck, and then are shown to your quote-unquote quarters, which are nothing more than hammocks strung up around the cargo hold below deck. And as you make yourselves comfortable, you just hear Seleucian groaning, clearly thinking back to when he first arrived in Chult. The nightmare has returned.
Imagine Bob and Alessandra just, after the whole vomiting thing, it's like, oh god, what did we do to deserve this? How many people died yesterday? Shut up.
That night, as you sleep, the crate of healing supplies is cranked open, and when you wake up the next morning, you find that the crew of the Star Goddess have neatly arranged and divided the contents for you. You each have 3 potions of healing and a potion of greater healing.
Hooray.
So the second day of travel begins. For Bobbit and Bulb, just as violent and sickening as the day before. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as the second day starts to come to an end, who would like to roll the encounter check?
Nope, I already did mine.
I will, because no one else spoke up.
Yep, go ahead, Bulb.
12.
12, no encounter. The entire journey was uneventful, and you were informed proudly by Captain Bravewing that the winds were perfect. The airship has squirreled you away to your destination in record time, and as you bunkered down in your hammocks that night, you were told that first thing in the morning you will be able to disembark. And so the next morning you awaken to find that the crew have already brought the airship below the clouds, and the airship is hovering just above the jungle canopy. The crew call you over and throw 3 rope ladders over the side, wishing you good luck as you disembark the airship and climb below the jungle canopy into the thick foliage that surrounds Tamulka village.
Hooray, land.
Okay. Once you feel your feet pressed down on the solid land, you all breathe a sigh of relief. Although you weren't all sick, it did take some getting used to travelling in the sky, and you're all glad to be back on terra firma. Above you, you see the shape of the airship just above the jungle canopy, and as you see the rope ladders being pulled back up through the treetops, you hear Captain Bravewing's thaumaturgically magnified voice calling out, "Good luck! We will wait here for your return. Now, Bobbit and Bulb, you do still have this level of exhaustion.
Fair enough.
Even though you're back on land, it's going to take a few days for that lingering sickness to subside.
Yeah.
So,
don't like birds, don't like planes. Just teleport. Just teleport from now on.
and so you gulp the air, try to keep your breakfast down as you follow Artis's directions into the jungle, making your way towards Tomolka village.
It's just skill checks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just skill checks.
Oh, guess I won't be talking to anyone then.
Following Artis's directions, the maze of trees slowly clears way into a small path with a visible clearing in the distance. Though you can make out a few of the village structures from here, you can also see wisps of black smoke rising from several areas within the village. A putrid stench permeates through the thick, humid jungle air. A few yards from your location, you spot several battered corpses strewn along the path leading to the village entrance. 4 in all. What would you like to do?
Does anybody want to investigate the lovely corpses we've been given to look at?
Can I... How close are we to the corpses? Are we, like, standing right next to them?
You're about 10, 15 feet away from them. They're just scattered around on the trail that leads to the village entrance. The village itself is still about 40, 50 feet away. You could see it, and you can see the smoke rising from the village, but you're not close enough to actually make out any details of what's going on in the village. At this distance, the structures are just featureless squares.
I would like to do a medicine check on the corpses.
Very well. Please go ahead and make a medicine check.
Disadvantage. Wow. I'm just going to leave because that was 2 nat 1s.
Oh!
2 nat 1.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm...
So Bulb immediately steps forwards and kneels over each of the corpses in turn. And...
They explode.
No. Oh, sorry. You
he's
go first.
He's able to tell you that, as he examines the corpses, that of the 4 corpses, 3 of them, the ones wearing grey threadbare jungle garments, appear to be pockmarked with multiple stab wounds. A couple of them have arrowheads still embedded in their flesh. The 4th corpse is wearing a colourful reddish-brown garment covered in decorative patches, and Bulb simply tells you that he can see a couple of scorch marks on the man's skin underneath his clothing. But as for the actual cause of death, he's unable to tell you any more than that.
I should say, even with a nat 1, my medicine check is 10.
Yeah, so that's how you were able to...
Yeah.
I just imagine, like, the nat 1 is just like that thing out of South Park where, like, the doctor's looking over a smashed pig corpse and going, he didn't make it.
Would anyone else like to do anything?
Sorry, I forgot I had to wash my work clothes, so...
Yes. So you've disembarked the ship, and on the path to Tomolka village, which appears to be... There's a big plume of smoke rising from the village about 60 feet away behind the village walls. The trail leading to the village is littered with corpses, 4 of them. 3 of them are wearing grey jungle garments, and Bulb has determined that they appear to exhibit stab wounds, and a couple of them have arrowheads still buried in their flesh. The 4th corpse is wearing a colourful reddish-brown garment with decorative patches woven into the fabric, and Bulb found scorch marks on that man's skin underneath the clothing.
Fair enough.
Would anyone else like to do anything?
Not really. It should be pretty good.
Yeah. There's probably more clues that you could find here if the village... You can rush straight to the village if you feel it's in danger, but perhaps there might be clues to tell you who these people might be. It's obvious that these three corpses and this one remaining corpse appear to be different groups of people.
I know an insight check.
You can do an insight check. Go ahead, make an insight check.
Alrighty.
I've done my failure for the day, so.
9 plus 7 is 16.
Yeah.
What do I have to beat?
So Sir Lucian, the spacing of the corpses and where they fell tells you that this appears to be the aftermath of a skirmish. Specifically, it appears as if the three men wearing grey jungle garments were attempting to defend themselves from the fourth man, who appears to be the aggressor in the conflict.
And okay, anyone else want to jump in? Because I'm kind of stuck.
Yeah, anyone want to...
What are we doing?
Zinon's going to have a bit of a look around and just see if there's been any clues left behind as to what we are going up against or what we're about to face.
Zinhorn, I'd like you to make an investigate check, please. So M2, were you here when I read out that you found corpses?
Yes, I heard the corpses, but that was about as far as I got.
And that bulb is, so Lucian has just discovered through an insight check that due to the way the corpses are positioned, that this was a skirmish, and that the one corpse wearing the reddish-brown garment appears to have been the aggressor. The other three men were defending themselves.
Okay, 13 for investigate.
So, Zinhorn, you look around the area and you find several things of note. There are arrows pockmarked, stuck into the ground in the trail here and there, and there seem to be arrows stuck into the ground at random intervals all down the trail. You also see tracks leading from this spot into the village. Tracks indicating that at least 10 men passed this way.
Why is it that every time we try and go somewhere, everyone's dead?
There's very obvious clues here, but I'm not holding your hand anymore.
But I'm exhausted and my dice... my character's exhausted, sorry, not me. My character's exhausted and my dice hate me.
I could try investigation, but...
Yeah, go ahead, Robert, make an investigation check.
Okay, with disadvantage, because of course...
Zinhorn did the surroundings. You want to investigate the bodies themselves?
Yes, okay, with disadvantage, that's going to be a 15.
15. Okay, you walk over to the corpses and begin to examine them yourself. And you notice that the three men wearing grey garments have leather armbands, each on their right arm, each with an insignia embroidered into it. The fourth corpse appears to have similar insignias embroidered into his clothing, but perhaps more interesting is that on his left hand, on his index finger, he is wearing a small copper ring that has a symbol stamped into the front of it. If you'd like to make a history check, you could try to identify these.
Okay, going with that disadvantage history check. Where are we? History. Character sheet, please. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Wow, that was a 5 and a 6. That's going to be a 9 on the history check.
A 9. Okay, so you can choose to identify one, but not both.
Okay, so what were my options again?
So you can identify
I'll push it.
Well, you don't have do you have history, Sir Lucian?
I do, actually.
Ah, okay. So yeah, go ahead, roll again with Sir Lucian
Oh,
helping.
Okay. Well, okay, I'll give it a go. So, advantage with disadvantage, because that's just funny as hell.
Yep.
Okay, so that was just a normal one then.
Yep.
But in that case, either way, I'm screwed though, because either way, that's only going to up it to a 10, unless he's rolling himself, which he seems to be doing.
Yeah, alright, so Lucian can roll as well.
Oh, I cocked that one, but from that, I got 9.
Alright.
Oh my god!
So, well, Sir Lucian spent the last 3 months in Chult. It's, not out of... It's not far-fetched to suggest he may have, studied some Chultan history.
He got the same result that I got.
Well, you can each identify one thing.
Okay, so yeah.
I thought Lucian felt intimidated by the fact of oh my god, someone of a higher stature than me?
Yes, so he wants to educate himself on all of the iconography of the Chult tribes.
Alright, so who do you want? Do you want the one guy or the group of 3?
Solution.
Lucian?
Yeah?
Do you want the one guy or the group of 3?
It doesn't really matter either way, because we've got the same result.
So Sir Lucian walks over to the single corpse. As this was the aggressor, he's probably the better fighter, and this naturally draws Sir Lucian to him. Bobbert, you grab one of the man's limp arms and examine the armband, and recognize the insignia on it as the symbol of the Obanachi Tribe. The tribe that you've come to see, who have knowledge of the heart of the wild and who have been in hiding for quite some time. These must be scouts of Tamolka village. Meanwhile, Sir Lucian plucks the ring off the other man's finger, studies it, and then kneels over and examines each of the symbols embroidered into the man's garments, and informs you that these are symbols of the Camberhall Tribe, one of Chult's oldest tribes, who were prominent before the lands had fallen to the spell plague and rusticity 2 centuries ago. He says, according to the books that he's been reading in his spare time in Port Nianzaru, the Camberhall Tribe is known to be honourable yet warlike. And in Chult, in ancient Chult, were traditionally known as the defenders of the jungle. They would defend Chult from outside forces.
Why were they fighting each other, or were they fighting someone else? Well, it doesn't really make sense for them to be fighting each other, though.
However, Sir Lucian's insight suggests that they were, because of the positioning of the corpses. Are you ready to move up into the village, or is there anything else you'd like to do here?
Does anyone else have any other suggestions?
Zinhorn, do you have medicine?
I do have medicine.
Would you like to try to make up for Bulb's failed medicine check?
Failed is the...
That is a 21 for medicine.
21. Oof. So, as Bobbert and Lucian discuss the implications of these 2 Chultan tribes fighting each other, you kneel down over the corpses, and in addition to what Bulb learned before, you determine that in addition to being stabbed and shot by arrows, the members of the Obanachi Clan were also apparently mauled to death by some sort of large beast. As for the member of the Camberhall Tribe, he appears to have been the victim of magic. The scorches on his skin and robes are telltale signs of some kind of magical force taking his life.
Magic?
Magic, yes.
Can I have a go at trying to Arcana that?
Yeah, go ahead. Make an Arcana check.
Oh, shit. Damn, my Fox thing doesn't help me with that, so it's still going to be disadvantage. Okay. plus 12, dude. I'll scream on this. Okay, see, that's better. That's a 16 and a 17, so that's going to be 28 on the Arcana to check that.
So you, Bobbit, instantly recognize these scorch marks as what is left over after somebody is hit with an eldritch blast.
No. just sees that and just looks at the rest of the group going, yeah, this is warlock magic. Do we know anyone else that has warlocks going around?
No, you don't.
Because the last group we ran into all said they were part of Rust in the Sea. Don't really want that to be happening again, for obvious reasons.
Yes, and you're the only one who's part of Rust in the Sea now.
Well, technically it's the other way around, but sort of.
So, you decide to leave this ghastly scene behind and head up the trail towards the village. The village might be in danger, so you approach the village with your weapons drawn, ready for trouble.
Zinhorn's going to scout ahead of the rest of the group.
Very well, Zinhorn.
Please do.
I would like you, Zinhorn, to please make a stealth check.
That is a 23.
A 23. Very well. Okay, Zinhorn, go ahead and make me a perception check now.
That is an unnatural 20.
A natural 20. Lovely. So as you begin to make your way down the trail with your weapons drawn, Zinhorn runs ahead and then blends into the foliage, scouting ahead up the trail. He waits for you at the entrance to the village when you rejoin him. A 5-foot wooden wall surrounds the village, most of which has been destroyed or burned. A small wooden archway marks the village's entrance. Along the broken stretches of the southern wall, thin crisscrossed ropes are concealed within piles of debris. And each of these ropes is woven through metallic trinkets, cups, and pottery. Makeshift alarms for anyone who would try to enter through the holes in the wall. This is what Zinhorn was able to discover as he scouted ahead.
Sorry, I'll be right back.
So Zinhorn points out the ropes in the piles of debris where someone has smashed holes in the wall, and points out that if you were to pass through there, you would have to avoid the ropes because someone in the village, or perhaps hiding in wait outside the village, has set up carefully hidden traps in the piles of debris. Otherwise, there is the central arch that serves as the main entryway to the village. As for the village itself, on the other side of the walls, you could see a collection of straw and bark huts. A couple of them appear to be on fire, and black smoke balloons out from inside the village, covering the whole area in a thick shadow. However, you cannot actually see any signs of movement or anyone moving around the village.
Oh, good. Why is every place we go to is always in trouble?
What would you like to do?
If it's not already in trouble, usually it's in trouble once we're there.
Oh, God.
That's a go with all of us.
Oh, sorry.
Yep. What was Lucian saying?
Would it, is it just uninhabited dwellings at the moment? Does it look like from where we're entering?
Well, you can't see any signs of habitation. No, some of the buildings are on fire, and from what you could see without stepping beyond the walls, it appears the village has been sacked, and there's no signs of movement on the other side. You have no idea whether the attackers are still here, whether there's some stragglers still searching the buildings, or whether they're lying in wait, or whether they've just moved on entirely.
So there's no dead bodies or anything like that are lying around?
Well, there might be, but there's also a lot of smoke filling the air, so from just outside the village, you can't actually see. You have to go into the village.
Alright. Can I unfurl my rug and start billowing the smoke somewhere else?
Ooh, that's
At
a
least
good
give
idea.
us a little bit of, visual acuity?
Yep. Well, you'd have to go into the village to do that, because that's where the smoke is coming from. So do you want to use your
Go in
carpet?
the village?
Do you want to use your carpet to fly over the wall?
Oh yeah, actually, instead of unfurl it, I'll just...
Yeah.
Can I glide over the top
Yes.
of the village?
Why is there 2 bulbs and no Sir Lucian here?
There is only bulb now.
Oh, I've got the tokens wrong. Let me just put Sir Lucian on the map. So Sir Lucian
was never here.
Sir Lucian unfurls his carpet, and does anyone want to join him? He's got room for one more.
Is there
I think he
a
can
way
fit
to
on with
sort
him.
of...
Come with me if you want to fly.
Zinhorn's going to make his way up a tree and use his Master of the Wild to sort of blend in and hide in the tree.
Alright, so Zinhorn, you head to a nearby tree and blend into it, while Sir Lucian flies his carpet over the archway into the village. And then once he's on the other side of the archway, his carpet descends to the ground. He climbs off it and then grabs hold of his carpet and begins to shake it back and forth, billowing it, trying to expel some of the smoke. So Lucian, I'd like you to make an athletics check, please.
Well, I just imagine this guy creating like a miniature cyclone because of how powerful it is. Alright, that is... What do you want?
Athletics.
Athletics. Oh, that is 22. That's definitely a pass in somewhere.
You hear the thump of the carpet as it billows against the ground as Sir Lucian tries to expel some of the smoke. And this carpet alone is nowhere near enough to get rid of all the smoke, but he does manage to clear some smoke away from the entrance to the village. And as the smoke thins out, I would like Bobbit and Bulb to please make perception checks.
Oh boy, +0 with disadvantage. It's just my lucky day.
Do I see anything come up the tree, or...?
Not yet. Not from here.
Not yet?
14.
14. And how did Bulb go?
I
Oh,
don't
Remy's
know if he's
gone.
back yet.
Okay, you can do one too, Zinhorn.
I would have suggested using like prestidigitation to get rid of some of the smaller fires, but
We have to
I
go
don't
in
think that's
the
going to do
village
it for now.
first.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Zinhorn, go ahead and do a perception check.
Alright, that is a 25.
25. So, Zinhorn, as the smoke clears from around the entrance, even though Bulb and Bobbit do not see this, you notice that the ground right underneath the archway is slightly discoloured, as if it's been dug up and then filled in again. As for the village itself, aside from Sir Lucian standing just beyond the archway billowing the carpet, you can't really see much from within other than the fact that within the very center of the village is some sort of stone shrine. From where you are, peering through the thick smoke, it seems to have the silhouette of a humanoid. You also notice 3 particular buildings that, from what you could see through the thick smoke, still appear to be relatively intact. A large house with a orange tiled roof on the easternmost side of the village. A dining hall with a with a straw roof on the western side of the village, and at the northwestern side of the village, what appears to be some sort of large meeting hall.
I'm back, by the way.
This humanoid statue in front of us.
Yep.
Is there like a lapel or something that's identifying that it could probably cross-reference with the bodies that we found before?
Well, you can go up and check it, but while you're it might be good if the others join you in the village first, because you are billowing smoke out of the way so they can actually see through the entrance. So, Zinhorn, Bulb, Bobbit, would you like to try to make entry into the village, and how so?
With my passive perception of 20, do I see the floor as well?
You do see the floor as well, yes. Only Bobbit doesn't see it. You could easily point it out.
Okay. I'm gonna point it out, and did we work out what these are?
Yeah, they're piles of debris, and Zinhorn found while he was scouting that each of these piles of debris has concealed within it a rope that's got metal cups and other trinkets dangling from it. So they're makeshift alarms.
Okay.
Most likely put in place by the attackers, as these are all holes in the fence.
And I'm gonna guess so Lucian just flew over on his carpet?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Well, it's fluking.
And now he's using his carpet to billow some of the smoke out of the entrance, that if you do try to pass through the debris, you'll be able to actually see where you're stepping.
Okay, I am just going to tap the discolored floor with the end of my staff.
Yep, so that Bobbit could see it.
And to see if it's a pitfall trap.
Yep. So you tap it with your staff, and as you do so, the leaves and twigs fall apart with a crumble, revealing a spike pit underneath. It appears to have been dug relatively recently. It's quite shallow, only 2 or 3 feet deep, and the spikes are nothing more than swords that are pointing upwards that have been dug into the dirt.
I'm gonna turn to Bobbit and go, these are surprisingly good against little imps. And then I'm going to long jump over.
Yep, please make an acrobatics check.
Wait, was that a reference to us, or is that just a general... I don't know.
On athletics check, I need to roll twice. Let's say acrobatics, you said. That's a 6.
6? You run towards the spike pit, which is 5 feet long, and leap into the air. But you must still be feeling a little ill from the airship ride as you misjudge the trajectory and end up falling short about half a foot. The front of your body hits the edge of the pit, and you tumble down into the spikes, taking... Allow me to roll the damage. Taking 12 points of piercing damage. You groan in pain as you hear the metallic clang of the sword blades bending and warping under your weight. And then you pull yourself out of the pit.
So whereabouts is the spike pit on the map?
So it's these tiles here.
I look back as I'm crawling out and go, surprisingly effective on me too, it seems.
Oh, you beat me to it. It was just like, oh, you beat me to it.
Keeper takes a step forwards and he throws out a fleshy arm, gesturing towards the pit, and then gesturing towards Bobbit, and he says, "Rrr!" and mimes throwing.
Oh, very well. Just sort of holds her arms out to the side as if saying, "Go ahead."
Oh fuck! I have a climb speed. I could have just gone over the fucking wall. God damn it!
Keeper, yeah, well, clearly you're exhausted. Keeper steps forwards. He wraps his gigantic arms around Bobbit, and then he groans "Rrr!" as he lifts Bobbit into the air and hurls her over the pit, and she lands with a thump in a heap at Sir Lucian's feet.
Just dust herself off going, see, he still has uses. Quick question, is there any way to tell if those swords are magical or not?
No, they just appear to be normal swords.
Cool,
Let's put it
because...
this way, did I catch fire when I landed on
No.
one?
Fair cop. Because in that case, Keeper can quite literally just walk straight through it, since
Yeah.
flesh golems are completely immune to non-magical weapons.
You gotta call him through.
Yep.
Keeper
Just
nods.
walk on over.
Keeper nods, and with a grunt, "Rrrr," he steps down into the pit, and you hear the loud clatter of several swords bending and warping under his weight, and the noise just gets louder as he steps over the rest of them, wrenching them out of the ground and tossing them aside until he pulls himself out of the pit and stands beside Bobbit.
We are not good at being settled, but looked cool.
Now that you're all in the village, Sir Lucian rolls up his carpet, stops billowing the smoke away, and now that you're underneath the smoke cover, you're able to get a good look of the village. Most of the buildings in this area have been raided, torched, and sacked. The bodies of a few villagers are strewn about near the entrances of various huts. The vile stench is even stronger in this area than it was outside the village. In the very center of the village is some sort of stone altar with a huge statue of a cat-faced warrior overlooking the rest of the village. And beyond that, you can just make out what appears to be some kind of water fountain. But before you have a chance to decide what to do next, you hear the sound of a door being flung open as two blight druids and a Katobalpas make their way out from one of the buildings they are ransacking, perhaps alerted by the din that was Keeper moving through the spike pit. Please roll for initiative.
Katoba, what now?
Katobalpas.
Okay,
Is
wow.
initiative just normal roll?
Yep, just normal roll.
I think combat stuff was fine on it. It's
Yeah.
just everything else.
6 for Bob.
6 for Bulb.
11 for Bobbit.
Yep.
So what the fuck is that Katobalpas thing? It looks like a ball mixed with a goddamn dinosaur.
So I'm going to describe it in a sec.
Okay, sorry, just...
Like a wild boar of a giraffe neck.
I know!
It's
weird.
So Lucian and Zinhorn, how did you go on initiative?
21.
21, and Sir Lucian. Oh, he's gone. Okay, I'll roll for it. Yep.
Oh dear.
Okay. Oh, he's going to be going after Zinhorn. Okay, so everybody except Zinhorn is surprised.
Makes sense.
You did alert them with lots of noise. So...
and Lucian.
Yep.
Lucian has alert as well.
Oh yeah, Lucian has alert as well. So Zinhorn, you're up first. You are currently hidden in the tree.
Can I see them at all?
You can. You could see just on the other side of the doorway of one of the straw huts, two druids clad in reddish brown cloaks, identical to that worn by the Camberhall clan member outside the village. Standing beside them and slowly lurching out through the doorway is some sort of large beast, a miserable mix of buffalo, dinosaur, warthog, and hippopotamus.
Oh my god.
That sounds like an interesting combination.
That sounds like it's gonna hurt.
It's the platypus of Chult.
Oh dear god.
No.
So would you like to
Oh God,
do
that
something
means
and reveal
poisonous.
yourself, or would you like to just hold a reaction, Zinhorn?
Zinhorn is going to... Sorry, just reading something, but just thought of an idea.
Yep.
I'm not allowed to have ideas anymore.
I want to go back and watch all of this campaign and just count up how many times something you've decided to do has backfired. Because we've all done it. We've all done it.
I'm just a repeat offender, which is kind of the whole deal behind this character. I didn't make her to be competent. I made her to be a bundle of chaos and joy. That was the whole point. And on that part, I have succeeded thoroughly.
So, Zinhorn, what are you doing?
Far away from them, am I?
Yep, you're still outside the village walls, hiding in a tree.
Yeah.
So
You do have a good view of what's happening. You can just see them coming out of the building.
yeah, so roughly they're quite a distance. Just trying to.
We're 140 feet away from them.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
are
think
you
that-
are quite some distance away.
I think they're out of everything that I could.
So if you
potentially
want to just
do.
hold the reaction and see if anyone gets close enough.
Yes. I'm going to hold a. You know what? Let's go with a. Where is it? Where? I'm guessing I have taken that out because we were in the dungeon. Never mind. I was gonna do a. I was gonna do a call lightning, but I don't have that anymore. Apparently.
Oh, okay.
Aw, damn.
In that case, I'm going to hold a tidal wave.
Yep, for anyone
That is-
who gets
That is
close.
going to start sort of this area here,
Yep,
going in that direction.
very
So it's
well.
not-
It is Sir Lucian's turn. Sir Lucian runs into the center of the village and then grabs his hand axe and prepares a reaction. He's going to hurl his hand axe at whoever comes within 60 feet. Okay, it is the enemy's turn. Blight Druid 2 comes running out of the building. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Is in range of Sir Lucian. Sir Lucian raises his hand axe and throws it.
Huzzah!
And that is a nat 20.
Of course.
Need more axe.
So go ahead, roll your damage for your hand axe and double it, Sir Lucian.
Love of
it's
God.
a D6, isn't it? That's right. D6. That is a 5 plus, was it 11? So
Yep.
22.
No. Wouldn't,
Yeah,
wait,
5
how's it plus 11?
I'm just checking his sheet so I can see what it is.
Yeah.
And how else if I check the sheet too?
Yeah. So for the repeating hand axe
Oh, sorry,
It-
no.
is 1d6 plus 6. So 5 plus 6 is 11,
Oh, sorry.
doubled to 22. So you hurl your hand axe at the druid who's running towards you, and it hits him, bounces off him, and then begins sailing through the air back towards you as you catch it. Because that was a reaction, you only get one attack, unfortunately, but
Okay.
that's still decent damage. Blight Druid 2 groans from the impact, and then raises his hand and casts. Let me see, and casts Cloud Kill right here.
Whereabouts?
Right here.
2 spaces above me.
Okay.
A cloud of noxious black gas appears, pours out of the smoke, and fills the area around all of you. And yeah, so when you start your turn there, that will come into play.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Blight Druid 1 comes running out, stands next to Blight Druid 2, raises his hands, and casts... let me see what's in range. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Out of range for that.
Can I let my tidal wave go, or
Yeah, if you want to do that.
because it's got a what's the range?
Have they entered the area where you
It's got a range of 120 feet, so
Alright, so we'll do that in a sec. He raises his hand and casts Innovation. A tendril of inky darkness reaches out from him, touching Bowl.
Oh.
That's the
Bold
cloud
needs-
kill, by the way.
No, that was Innovation. You need to make...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You need to make...
Sorry.
You need to make
Sorry.
a deck save, please, Bowl.
Oh, yay. I get a +1 on those. That's a 14.
14. 1 under, unfortunately.
Of course it is.
So, Bulb,
Yeah.
you take 20 points of necrotic damage. And the Druid can now use an action on each of his turns to automatically deal 4d8 necrotic damage to you until the spell ends or his concentration rate.
Which one was that, sorry?
Blight Druid 1.
Okay, buddy.
As the black tendril links you and him. Okay, go ahead and cast your tidal wave, Zinhorn.
Yep, so that I need deck saves from both of them.
Yep, so Druid 2 gets an 11 and Druid 1 gets a 22.
Ow.
So Druid 1 saves with a 22.
Yep.
And it is 4d8. It is not great damage, that's 11 plus 4 is 15 points of damage.
15. Blight Druid 1 takes 7, and Blight Druid 2 gets blasted 10 feet back as a torrent of water hits him.
And is knocked prone.
He's knocked prone. You hear a roar as the Catobal Pass comes charging out of the building. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It fixes its gaze, its terrible distorted buffalo head, upon Bobbit.
Of course it does.
Uses its Death Ray. I need Bobbit to please make a con save.
I'm sorry, it's what now?
It's Death Ray, which it needs to roll to recharge on its next turn.
Well, that's charming. That's also a nat 20 to defend against that.
Lovely, nat 20. So you take 35 points of necrotic damage.
That's halved?
Yes.
Jesus!
It's supposed to be a one-hit kill.
No shit, Sherlock.
It shoots a beam of the necrotic energy from its eyes that hits you and your body bursts into excruciating pain. Okay, it is now Bobbit's turn.
Okay.
Was Bobbit and Bulb
I was going to say surprise round.
Oh yeah, that's right, it was surprise round. Okay.
Yeah, I got surprised, and much like the last fight, I got my ass kicked on the first turn. Yay.
It is now Zinhorn's turn again.
Okay.
Survive one more round.
Yay.
Zinhorn is going to summon a... You know what? There's a lot of fire around, so let's summon a water elemental.
Yep.
Over here.
Yep. I'll grab the water elemental. The water elemental bursts out of the smoke and roars as it starts sweeping towards the two druids.
And then he's going to use his vine to sort of clamber on the side of the wall and try and sort of make his way stealthily over behind the building.
Yep, please make an acrobatics check to get down safely.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You hold out your hand and your vine says, "Up and away!" and lifts you out of the tree, and you leap deftly over the wall. Now please make a stealth check to remain stealthed.
Off the table. That is a 19 plus 6 is a 25.
19. Okay. The two Blight Druids don't see you, but unfortunately the Catobal Pass does. Your stealth is
But
broken.
25? Oh,
Yes,
damn.
it got exactly
Damn.
25.
Of course.
Damn!
So your stealth is broken, but you do manage to run behind one of the nearby huts.
Okay.
Right, you do have an action. Oh, you summoned the water elemental, that's right. Okay.
Yep,
So it's now your water elemental's turn.
He's
and-
going to attempt to attempt to whelm. What is it called? That's the bronze thing.
So what your water elemental does is it moves in between both of the druids and then attempts to whelm them.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they're going to make strength saves. So that was an 8 and a 13. They are both whelmed. The water elemental deals 16 points of damage to them and sucks Blight Druid 1 and 2 into its watery vortex. Blight Druid 1 is going to make a concentration save, which he passes.
Aww.
Okay, it is now Sir Lucian's turn. And Sir Lucian, you're starting within the cloud kill, so you need to please make a con save.
A save on my inner constitution. I think you'll find I'll do this quite well. Inner monologuing. That is... con... I got an 18 on that roll.
18,
Yeah,
you
pass.
pass. You take 12 points of poison damage, which is half of the cloud kill. Now you
Wait,
make-
poison damage?
Yep, as the black gas swirls around you and you cough. You hold your breath and stop yourself from inhaling a huge amount of it. Still, some of it still gets down your throat, but it is now your turn. What would you like
Does
to
he
do?
have a temporal immunity? Does he have a temporal, some sort of like immunity towards it because of going through the death plague, or is this a
No.
different
No.
thing?
No,
There
this
is only
is
two
everything
people. There's
together.
I'm sorry. There's only 2 people here with immunity to poison, and neither of them are you, son.
So what would you
Let
like
me
to
have
do,
this, damn it.
Lucian?
Can I please, is Cablepuss, is it Cablepuss or Cablepuss?
Catobal Pass. The Catobal Pass.
Okay, Cablepuss. Is that our side or enemy?
That's enemy.
That's definitely
fuck.
me.
Let's get a longsword into their face,
Yep.
shall we?
5,
Please do.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and you are out of the cloud kill. You raise your sword, go to hit it.
Oh, absolutely. And that is 20 on my roll.
Ooh, nice.
Unnatural 20.
That is a
Unnatural
hit.
20.
Roll your damage.
Alrighty. The hit that is 11 points of damage there.
Nice. Next attack.
Oh, what did I get? Okay, that is a 27.
That is a hit. Roll your damage.
Okay, on top of damage, another 14 points of damage there.
Nice. And your next one.
What's its AC?
Its AC is 14.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Hit on 18.
That is a hit. Roll your
And
damage.
That is another 9 points of damage off of that.
Lovely.
So, 9,
You're going to throw in a
14.
precision attack and spend a superiority dice.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. It's a D10, isn't it?
Yep.
Beautiful. And that is a 6.
6
I guess
all
I'll
up, a
go
good
14.
over 40 damage there as you wail into it, striking at this monstrosity with your sword over and over. It is now the enemy's turn. The Catobal Pass is going to roll to recharge its death ray. It failed.
Oh, thank God.
And as Sir Lucian is within 10 feet of it, he is subject to its stench ability, the terrible, vile smell that you now realise is emanating from this Catobal Pass. It begins to wind its way up your nostrils. Please make a Constitution save, Lucian.
Stop trying to sting me to death!
It's a very smelly group here.
I got 14, so I failed my
14,
Constitution.
Oh,
yeah.
possibly. We don't.
The stench fills your nostrils and you begin gagging. You are poisoned until the start of the Catobal Pass's next turn. Have disadvantage on attack rolls until then. The Catobal Pass
Give me
then...
the banana!
The Catobal Pass then roars. It swings at you with its long tail. That is a 23. It just manages to hit you. You take
Damn.
12 points of bludgeoning damage, and you must make a con save again.
Gosh, wow, it's doing a real
Wow,
good number on me. That is a fail.
Yep, you didn't get 16, so the tail slams into your head and knocks you unconscious until the start of the Catobal Pass's next turn.
Jesus.
I
Wow.
handed it to me.
They quite literally just took out a heavy hitter.
He did.
That's a big boy.
It is now the Druid's turn. Druid number 1, he is whelmed, so he takes 10 points of damage from inside of the water elemental, and he's simply going to expend his action to deal 4d8 necrotic damage to Bulb. As the black tendril shudders and another spasm of necrotic energy runs down it, hitting Bulb for 20 points of necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
That's a fun spell.
It is Druid number 2's turn, and he takes 14 points of damage from the whelm, and he just coughs and drowns.
Hey!
Oh.
That's fun.
It is now Bobbit's turn, and Bobbit, you are starting within the cloud kill, so con save, please. You're immune. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Me and Keeper don't give two flying shits. We're just sitting there going, is this supposed to be doing anything?
Druid needs to do a check to keep the cloud up, because he...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Wait,
That was his cloud kill, so yeah, it's gone.
Oh, well, that's fun. Oh, alright,
Thank
well,
God.
so Lucian's kind of unconscious, so I suppose we're going to have to go and help that out. So, yeah, we're going to go. Well, I'm going to use a bonus action to activate my Grim Sight, which, as it turns out, I've been reading wrong this entire time. Kids, if you're playing a spellcaster, always remember to check the spells properly so you know how they work. So I'm going to do that, run up to the lovely Katata Ketobal Pass, the ugly son of a bitch, whatever the hell it's called. And
right up to it.
Gotta go take a swing at it, as I can.
Go ahead.
That is 15 plus 12.
That is a hit. Roll your damage.
Yay. That's gonna be 13 points of necrotic damage. And then we'll hunt. Yep. And then I'm gonna get Keeper to try and see. It's probably a dumb idea to come. Well, I mean, he definitely get to it because it's one. Yeah, he can get to it with his Twiggy because it's basically 1, 2, 3, and 4. Can I try and see if I can try and get him to like wrestle the Ketobal Pass down so it can stop?
To grapple it?
Yeah.
Alright, he's gonna try. It is Keeper's turn, and he just roars and begins to shuffle towards the Ketobal Pass. 5, 10, 15, 20. Reaches out his bulbous, muscled, fleshy arms and attempts to catch the Ketobal Pass in a grapple. I'm gonna roll to see if he's able to do that.
What?
Flesh Golem. Okay, here
he's
it
got
comes.
a 19. Yeah.
That's a 23 to hit. He strikes the Ketobal Pass with a slam attack for 13 points of damage. Now the Ketobal Pass is going to make a strength save. It failed. Keeper wraps his arms around the Ketobal Pass and tackles it to the ground. It is restrained.
Oh, isn't that fun? You just stay right there. We'll get to you in just a second, buddy.
It is now Bulb's turn.
Okay. I was going to do something, and then Blight Druid 2 went down a lot earlier than I thought they were going to go down.
They only had like 50 HP.
Yeah, and I realized that what I was going to do would have been a waste.
Oh, good.
However, I am going to move. If I move here, cast Thorn. Can I cast Thorn Whip to hit the Blight Druid inside the water elemental and pull it out?
Yeah, you can.
If I did, would that pull it to here or here?
Yeah, it would. It would pull it to either one of those spots at your discretion.
Okay, well, I'm going to use Meta Magic to make Thorn Whip a bonus action.
Yep.
I need to roll to hit. And while I'm holding my staff, my spell modifier is actually a plus 11.
Damn.
Lovely.
Doesn't help when you roll a nat 1.
Oh my god.
You slam your staff in the ground, the Thorn Whip lashes out, and it's just about to grab the Blight Druid when a fold of the Water Elemental's water crashes down on it, knocking it out of the way.
Okay, time for plan B, I guess. That really fucked up what I wanted to do.
We have plan A.
Well, I'm up to plan C at the moment. Plan A was call lightning at 6th level to fuck these guys up because he's linked to me.
Yeah,
Plan
fair.
B was Thorn Whip the guy here, walk down here and lightning javelin through this line here to hit
Yeah.
both.
right.
Unfortunately, hitting
Yeah.
unfortunately hitting Keeper, but
Wait. What were you gonna hit him with?
lightning.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
heals
well,
from that.
because he's not in
Trust
life
me.
anymore.
Okay.
The I can't eat Cataplebeth.
Terrible
Isn't
pass.
Catobalpus, that's it. Isn't
Don't
in
many
line.
people can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silver pass. It's like sounds like Katata fish.
If I was to stand, no, I'm not going to be able to hit him with the javelin. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to call lightning at 3rd level
Yep. Go ahead.
onto Blight Druid. I'm sorry for the water elemental, but I need to kill this Druid before he gets another turn on me.
Yep. So the
So
Water
he needs to
Elemental and the Druid are going to make Dex saves. Water
Yeah.
Elemental failed with a 9. The Blight Druid has a disadvantage, so he fails with an 8.
Okay, so that's 3d10.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but just for future fun references, the flesh golems, when they hit with lightning, actually get healed with it instead of.
They do.
I was keeping it a secret until I could lob this lightning at him, but this is more fun.
9 points of lightning damage.
How
Wow.
much? 9.
9.
Okay, that
Yeah.
doesn't kill the elemental or the druid.
Jesus.
The lightning gathers up ahead, and then you just hear a thunderclap. And the lightning strikes the field in the middle of the village, and a tiny spark flies off and hits the Blight Druid and the Water Elemental. Okay, it is Zinhorn's turn.
Today is not Bob's day.
I know the feeling, buddy. Can't win every day.
Zinhorn's going to come running out from behind the hut here
Yep.
and is going to do something that's not concentration, so the water elemental stays up.
Ooh, good idea.
Yay.
Get within 60 feet of the
The Catobal
kitty
Pass.
cat. The kitty cat.
Yep.
And
That's
do
as far
a
as you can get.
frostbite.
Frostbite. Yep. Alright, go ahead. Roll to hit it.
It's
Oh,
a
yeah,
con
it's
save.
save.
Con
Yep.
save?
Con save.
Thank-
Alright. That is a 10, which, considering it has a +5 on its con, is it rolled very badly.
Wow.
Mhm. So 3d6 is. Ooh, that's lovely damage. That's a 4, 5, and a 6. That is 12 points of cold damage, and it's advantage on next attack.
Lovely, which it already has because it's prone. Okay,
Hey.
so Lucian's turn. He's unconscious, so now it's the enemy's turn. The Catobal Pass is restrained by Keeper. It's going to attempt to break free. It rolled a 17, so unfortunately it does break free from Keeper's grasp, but it still has
Uh-oh.
disadvantage on its attacks. It slams at Bobbit and Keeper with its huge tail. Oh, well, first of all, as it begins its turn, Bulb is within 10 feet of it, so Bulb, you need to make a con save. from its awful stench.
Is a 9.
Oh my!
9, yep.
Wow.
I'm gonna stop using that dice.
So
Yeah,
you are
please do, man.
poisoned until the Catoblepass's next turn.
I
Rolls
was
to
gonna say-
recharge its death ray, it fails.
Oh, thank
So,
God.
Instead, it's just going to swing its tail at both Keeper and Bobbit.
You know, that's a fair cop.
That is a 21.
Is that with disadvantage?
Oh wait, yeah, disadvantage. Yeah, 21 because it rolled a 22 on its next roll.
Wow.
What the shit?
Okay,
This is blooded, man.
so Bobbit and Keeper each take 18 points of bludgeoning damage. And
Ow.
you need to make a DC 16 con save, please, Bobbit. I'm going to make one for Keeper. He passed his. He climbs back onto his feet.
16, you said,
Yes.
Con. And of course, that's 15.
Yep, so Bobbit knocked out cold until the Catoblepass's next turn.
God damn it!
At which point, Sir Lucian now wakes up, because it is the Catoblepass's next turn from after he got knocked out. It is
Success.
now Keeper's turn. He just roars as he sees Bobbit go down.
We missed the water
Avenge
element.
me.
Oh yeah, it is the Water Elemental's turn as well. I'm going to do the Water Elemental. So it's just going to slam at the Druid inside it. That is-
Curl up in the ball and just start bouncing around.
Yep, slamming the Druid onto the ground. That is 2 hits. The Druid takes 13 plus 15, and that is just enough to kill the Blight Druid.
Yay.
Water elemental for the win.
It then
Then
rushes up to the Catoblepass, ready to try and whelm him next turn, but it did not recharge its whelm. Okay, Keeper roars and he slams his fists into the Catoblepass. That is going to be 18 and a 26, both hit. The Catoblepass takes 24 points of damage. It roars as Keeper thumps his fist into its head and it goes down.
Hell yeah! Boy, putting in work for me.
Combat is over.
Gonna
That's
have
good
the
boy.
water elemental come over to Bobbit and just start slapping it around the face. Doing the
Oh.
slapping and the water, so try and wake it up.
Yep.
Alright.
Bobbit wakes up and you, Bulb, will be poisoned for the first round of the next combat.
Okay.
Yep, from the Catoblepass. So
So
will
Bobbit
Sir
sitting there
Lucian.
going. Bobbit just
So-
lying there going, why am I wet again?
With that, the enemy appears to have been destroyed and the village falls silent once again, save for the crackling of flames as they eat away at some of the ransacked buildings. What would you
Zinhorn's gonna
like
get
to do?
the water elemental to go and start dousing some of the fires.
Yep,
Water elemental, use water gun.
you sure you'd like to do that?
Well, we've had enough fires, so yes,
Yeah,
that would be
yep.
what Zinhorn
So the
would
water
do.
elemental begins to zoom around the village, dousing the flames. And I'm just going to make a roll for some enemies who are inside some of the buildings to see if they hear this.
Oh. Oh, there's more.
What's this more? There's
Luckily,
always
they
more.
didn't manage to hear it, and so the water elemental
Really?
spends the next 10 minutes zooming around, putting out the fires, and as the fires die down, the smoke begins to dissipate, offering you finally a clear view of the village.
If the water elemental takes that long to do that, can I take a short rest?
Yeah, if you want.
I would also like to take one, because, ow, that death ray hurt.
If there
Yeah.
are other enemies, they must be so engrossed in what they're doing, ransacking buildings, that they weren't able to hear the water elemental. And as the
I'm
smoke,
going.
as the
Oh,
smoke
sorry.
clears, you're able to have a clear view of the village, and you now determine that the building in the northwest that you thought was a meeting hall is actually a priest's house. You notice the symbol of Ubtao embedded in the wood next to the door. The other building that Zinhorn noticed, the one with the orange tiled roof, is inlaid with gold bars and gemstones indicating that it is the residence of an important personage, perhaps Wainwrath, the sage.
He's still
this
alive.
hut still intact and everything?
Yeah, that one appears to be intact.
Zinhorn's going to make his way around to the door and just sort of like see if there's anyone sort of inside.
Head over to the door of the nearest hut, Zinhorn, and you find it open. And inside, you find the hut is empty. Other than tables, chairs, and a few empty barrels, there's nothing in this hut. It appears whoever lived within has fled, or perhaps more likely taken prisoner by the attackers.
I called, like, usher the others to go in to have their rest inside the hut.
Yep, inside the hut. So you head into the nearby hut, sit down in amongst the ruined furniture, and spend the next 10 minutes catching your breath. Now that the village is clear, you're able to see the stone altar from where you are. And you notice that this is not in fact an altar to some sort of god as you originally thought, but is instead a shrine to the Obanachi Tribe itself. It is a statue of a human warrior wearing a leopard head helmet and long flowing grey cloth armour. In his right hand he holds an onyx spear.
They really made an entire statue built around their own tribe.
There appears to be an inscription at the feet of the statue, but obviously without going up to the altar you won't be able to read this.
And the things came out of this hut, right?
They did. They came out of this hut here.
Yep. Cool.
So you take your 10 minutes to rest and the village is much more quiet. I'd like you all to make perception checks, please, and this is to listen. This is to hear things.
Oh, so that blows out to just normal for me. That's fun.
That is
Ooh,
a dirty
nice.
20. 15.
Yep, so that is a group pass.
17.
17. So now that the flames have been doused and you can hear clearer, you hear the sounds of clattering glass and pottery, the obvious sounds of somebody ransacking, coming from both the priest's house and the village chief's residence.
Sorry?
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm just asking which houses were it?
So this one and this
That one? No. Okay.
After 10 minutes, you step out of the hut, out into the village, and the only thing you can hear is the constant clang and clatter of pots and pans and furniture being shifted around as the remaining attackers ransack the nearby buildings.
Zinhorn suggests together to potential stealth over to check out where the enemies came from.
Yep, you want to check the hut that they came out of?
Just to see what the others say to this.
In response, Bulb taps his staff against the ground and says, "Pass in silence," giving everyone pass without trace.
Ooh, lovely. That will definitely help.
I like that.
Get this man a cookie.
This is
Awesome
really the
job, buddy.
I've been here when we're stealthing, so.
Yep, so what would you guys like to do?
Well, I've agreed with Sinhorn, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. So you guys want to make your way to the hut that they came out of first?
And I spent some hit dice to go out.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
HP.
that's
we
what
did
rest
we
was.
did that. We did have a short
We
rest.
had a short rest, so do that.
Yep.
Short rest is good.
Pass without trace advantage or plus 10?
Plus 10.
Plus 10.
Plus 10.
Alright.
So are
And I get to do this.
you all going to
You
go
want
check
stealth?
out this hut? Or are you just going to let someone go do it?
I think staying together is a good idea, personally.
Well,
Oh,
it's a good idea for the majority of the group, but I have disadvantage even with the plus 10, so I'm just going to try and get an Overwatch.
Alright, so maybe you
Position.
and Lucian stay behind then.
Also,
yeah.
before we go anywhere, can
Yep.
I stab the... What was it called? The Catabolus?
Yeah, the dead
Catabolus?
Katulpas, you just want to stab it.
Can I stab it a few times? Because I want to get its venom sacs onto my longsword. So
I
it bleeds
think-
to get...
That's
I
a
feel like you need a survival check to go and extract that sucker, but
Yeah,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
not really.
Make a
Can I just
survival
stab it?
check, because you have no idea where the venom sacs are on this animal.
Probably punching its like Somali sack or something like that. I don't know.
yeah, Xenon's going way before he does this.
What am I doing? Nature check?
Survival.
Survival. Ooh, okay, that is a 15.
Okay, so you walk up to the dead Caturblepas, kick it a couple of times, then you stab your sword into its weirdly shaped buffalo head, up into its throat and twist it around. And when you extract the sword, there is a sickly green substance with a foul smell dripping off the end of it. Meanwhile, Bobbit and Zinhorn, I'd like you guys to make stealth checks, please.
Hooray.
Yay. So
Speed.
Xenhorn rolled a natural 20, which then puts him at a 26 plus the 10, so that's
Oh,
36.
God. You just disappear from this plane of existence.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 22, so I'm happy with that, personally. It's no
creep
30
over
fucking
to the
million.
hut. You creep over to the hut that the enemies emerged from. There's nothing outside, no markings or insignias to suggest that this hut is anything other than a family dwelling, but you step inside anyway. The walls in this building mostly have been knocked over, revealing what was once a large central area surrounded by 2 large rooms and 2 smaller rooms. Please make an investigate check if you'd like to see what the enemies were trying to ransack.
Okay.
Yeah, Xenhorn's too focused on his stealthing. That's a 6.
I rolled 19 twice with my disadvantage,
Yep.
so that's going to be 23 for me.
So Bobbit, you spend a few minutes searching each of the rooms, shifting aside some overturned furniture, and in this house you find a potion of greater healing.
Oh, yay. I'm going to hold on to that since everyone seems really reluctant on helping me at the moment.
Appears to be the only thing of note in the house. Everything else of value has probably already been taken.
Speaking of potions, did we end up distributing the
Yes.
supplies?
You
on
got
the-
Yes.
3 normal healing potions and 1 greater healing potion each.
Yay.
So 3 normal, 1 greater each. Okay.
Yep. What would you like to do now? So far you haven't seen any survivors.
Tragedy.
How tall's the walls?
How tall are the village walls? About
Yes.
20 to 30 feet.
So if I was to
Some
climb
are
to the
shorter
top,
than the others. Yeah, you would have
Right.
climbed to the top.
would I be able to see the entryways to all buildings of interest?
Yes.
Okay, well, I would like to go to a wall, extend my roots, and climb to the top.
Yep. So you walk to the nearby wall, shoot out your roots, and let them pull you to the top of the wooden palisade. Please make a perception check.
Manage again, because still haven't gotten rid of this f***ing exhaustion.
Yeah, it's kind of
7.
a pain in the ass.
7.
Oh, no.
You can't quite tell where the entrances to each of the buildings are, but here, from your vantage point, you do notice that the ground behind the central statue shrine appears to be slightly discoloured, and several portions of the grass have been flattened, as if some heavy weight sat upon that area not too long ago.
Ooh.
Oh.
The statue in the middle of the town might move.
Oh.
It might slide backwards.
Oh.
Do you want to come and tell everyone?
I'm gonna let them keep investigating because there's no point opening it and then having the people here come down behind us. So I'm gonna provide overwatch from back here.
Yep, very well. So you're just going to survey the surroundings in case any of the attackers come out.
And because how long does my call lightning last? Actually, 10 minutes. Oh, 10 minutes has already passed. I'm gonna hold an action if anybody emerges in a hostile action. I'm going to cast Conjure Animals.
Lovely. Okay, so hold that action if you see anyone emerge. Meanwhile, Bobbit and Zinhorn, you've finished searching this simple dwelling. What would you like to do next?
Well, Zinhorn's going to sneak up to this house, trying to get a little bit closer. Because the only one we hear noise is this one, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So yeah, Zinhorn's going to at least sneak up towards this house to try and see if he can get advantage of seeing anyone or anything from the other house.
Alright, so Zinhorn, please make a stealth check.
That is a 15 plus 6 plus 10, so 31.
You step inside the nearby house, you step over the threshold and see the interior of this house is utterly ransacked. You step over the crumbling furniture, make your way to the back of the hut where there's a window that provides a good view of the priest's house. Please make a perception check.
Is a 16, sorry, so my very hard to read. 16 plus 9 is 25.
You see movement coming from the priest's house, and at one point, as you see someone move past the window, you duck down so they don't see you, and you slowly raise your head and peek inside, and you make out, eventually, after watching the house for several minutes, that inside there are 3 arcane arches. Each of them holding bows, inlaid with glowing arcane runes to signify that their weapons are magical.
Someone wants to come back to the door so he can see Bobbit.
Yep.
And he's going to charades 3 arches. And then hold out the bead of fireball and do a bit of a shrug. It's like, do I?
You're gonna tell Bobbit to throw a fireball bead into that house?
So I was gonna throw one and then...
Bobbit...
That's right, you have one.
Yeah.
That's right, you have
my
my
own
old
one. You gave me your
one.
leftovers.
Would you
Bobbit,
rather I
what
just
do
keep
you-
them all for myself, considering how well I've used them?
No, but I just see what Bobbit thought of the idea.
It was a gift.
It was, and it could be very useful right now, especially if we both tag team this.
But you want me to throw one as well, or you just want to throw one yourself?
Well, we could double fireball these fellas. Or the archers.
Dear God.
Keep in mind that would be loud enough that it would alert the other group of enemies in the other building.
Wait, which other building? Which other group and what other building? Do we know?
The other group in the village chief's house.
Ah.
Unless one of you wants to sneak to that building and you throw a bead at each building.
If you also mentioned that they're all thatched buildings, aren't they?
Yeah, they're mostly thatched, so they will have
burn the
fire.
Are we gonna seriously burn the village down?
I mean,
minutes.
yeah, I mean, these guys have already done a good job burning it down.
Just anyone else asks us, we just sit there and go, this place was already on fire when we got here.
See that water elemental? He's mine. He put the fires out.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
Bumblebee.
Are we seriously going the Bumblebee? Oh, I mean, I'm all for it.
Also, I'm all for just annihilating these Arcane Arches.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wants to do
Xenon-
that one, and
Xenon's
we just have to
gonna
we just have to keep in mind that if we torch both the Archer hut and then the one on the other side, we're going to need to move back together very quickly, because then if anyone that survives is going to make a beeline straight for us.
Yeah. The good thing is, though, I've got my held action to summon animals
He does.
who can just focus on one
And
group.
you know what? Actually, hold on. Let me just count numbers for half a second here. Let's see. Off the top of my head, what is 90 divided by 5? 45 is 9, so 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I'm not quite there, but I could easily just catapult my beat of fireball from like 90 feet off and just lob it straight into the chieftain's hut. Hopefully they have nothing of. Hopefully they took everything of value with them when they possibly ran.
But if that's Chieftain's hut, maybe the chieftain is still alive.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. If we get rid
Actually,
of this one,
you know what? Yeah, no. After yesterday's efforts, Bullet might be less than reluctant to just fireball everything out of existence.
Maybe if we can see what's in the house.
Okay. Do you
I'm
want
happy
Bullet
to
to
get
go
rid
and
of one, and then we can just deal with the enemies that come out the other side.
Or do you want Bobbit to go and sneak close to the chieftain's hut and see if she could get a look inside?
Yeah, actually check for potential hostages this time.
If so, Bobbit, please make a stealth check.
Alright, gotta keep that. Well, I'm really glad that this cancels out the the disadvantage. Thank you, Elven Boots, because that's a nat 20, so that's a 30 in stealth.
Lovely. So you run silently across the village and crouch in the ruins of a burnt down hut, and then study the chieftain's house in front of you, trying to catch any sign of movement within. Please make a perception check.
This might be the part where the plan falls apart. Oh, I really wish I didn't have disadvantage on this shit. 11.
You study it for a few moments, and when the coast is clear, you even poke your head out and look through the open doorway on the southern side of the building, and you can see no sign of any villagers within. However, then you see movement, you quickly turn around, jump back into the ruins, and eventually you count that there are 2 Arcane Arches and a Blight Druid ransacking the house.
Okay, but no hostages.
You saw no sign of anyone from this village. Bulb probably has an idea where they are.
But yeah,
Still haven't
Bobbit's
told
gonna-
guys. I'm
I
still.
was gonna say, yeah, Bobbit's gonna go past the. Alright, oops, I need the. 1 second. Like, is there any way for you to tell us this is Bobbit's gonna go back and basically pass on the word to Zinhorn?
I'm sure Zinhorn will understand that there's no hostages in there when he hears the bead exploding.
Yeah, I know, but I want to try and time this properly because, actually, Bobbit's going to send Blinky to go and... Wait, no, he can't pass on those messages. Can he? Can he pass on messages?
He can't. He can't talk, but you could write it down on.
I mean, he speaks telepathic. Oh yeah, just scribble a note, send back saying only no villagers, only bad guys in other hut.
So you scribble a note and then you let Blinky out, and Bulb just sees a tiny beholderkin zoom across the breadth of the village, stop in front of Zinhorn, open its mouth, and deposit a shred of paper on the ground, and then zoom back to Bobbit. Zinhorn lifts up the piece of paper, and then you just see him nod.
So pull out the bead and try and time it at the same time.
3, 2, 1, and then you hurl the beads. Please go ahead and roll the damage for me.
So...
Don't they have to... Wait, they be able to dodge if they don't know it's coming?
They'll still get a chance to dodge it, but they're surprised, so...
Roll the damage and they'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
66. That's 66 for a standard fireball, yes?
Yep.
Yes. I should know this by now. Well, mine's a 27.
27.
Wait, so is it 6d6 or 8d6?
It's 8d6.
66. Oh, 8d6?
Yeah, it's 8d6 for a
I was
fireball.
getting, okay, well, I'll just roll 2 more 6s then.
5, 6, 7, 8, and I still have 2d6 not in use.
Okay, so that's 37 points of damage all up for my thing instead.
37, okay, here comes 2. Okay.
Yeah, the second I throw mine, I'd like to start running back to the rest of the group because I don't exactly want to be kept away from everyone else.
Boom! Both of the buildings explode, and those within take the full damage, rolling with disadvantage to dodge, and all of them failing.
23, 25, 27, 29 for my one.
29, okay. So 29 and 32 damage, not bad, not bad.
37 for mine.
37, please roll for initiative.
And as Bobbit runs back and rejoins the rest of the group, all you hear going, "Oh, so it's perfectly fine to blow up an innocent village, but we destroy one house with a fireball and everyone gets on Bobbit's case."
I rolled a 2. 3.
3.
I am on fire.
I got a 23.
23. Bobbit.
18.
18. And Sir Lucian.
Oh, well, if I go last, my held action goes off, so that's okay.
So Lucian will go before Bobbit then. Okay, Zinhorn, you're up.
So, I'm going to have the water elemental.
It's actually the exact same initiative order as last combat.
Great, I rolled better and did no. Well.
So, I'm going to have the water elemental come toward, over my side.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. The water elemental's used up its movement.
And then Zinhorn is going to transform into water elemental.
Himself, yep. It's 2 water elementals.
And I want the 2 water elementals to almost merge to become a giant thing.
We can indeed do this. So as soon as you turn into a water elemental, you fly into the existing water elemental, and you transform into a greater water elemental.
Watertron.
So I will just get the stat block of that for you.
Yeah, please. I was going to look it up. I'm like, I wanted
Bring
to
forth Hydrotron.
I've wanted to try this for a while, guys. So.
It's epic. Just like Bobbit on the other side of the village, watch this going,
Daddy, what's a Decepticon? No, it's a different timeline. Shh.
Let me just grab this for you. Won't be a second. Because, yep. Well, actually, first I'd like you to make an Arcana check.
That probably makes sense.
That is a 13 plus 4 is 17.
17? Okay. As you merge forms of the water elemental, you become a huge water elemental. And I'm getting the stat block. It's a big... Oh, okay, that's fine. Right, let me just get my DM screen up. Okay, so here is the stat block for it. The last bit of Whelm is cut off, but I'll just tell you how much damage that is when the time comes. Here is the huge water elemental. Okay, so that is your turn done as you turn into a huge water elemental. You do still have your movement, though.
Oh, dear God.
Everyone else just hears this maelstrom of water crashing together, and then the huge water elemental bursts through the thatched roof of this house.
Yeah. Bobbit's just watching it going, that is so cool.
So just
these guys get
in my
flashback.
Yep. So you can move somewhere, but otherwise that's your action done for the turn.
So Zinhorn is going to, once I find the map again, there it is, going to try and get behind the house again.
Yep.
Out of sight as best he can.
Yep, except keep in mind you're now huge, huge, so
that's why I say as best he can.
I'm sorry, just the visual image of that's
you move
amazing.
behind the nearby hut and stay there. It is now Lucian's turn.
Oh, okay. Can I please? Oh, sheesh.
You could
Not
probably
close
get to.
anything.
You could probably get to about here and then throw your hand axe at somebody.
Oh,
Right.
someone.
Ew. Will I be in cover if I hide behind our any building? Does that sort of?
Yeah, you can. You can hide if you want. If you want
Can
to
I
run up and
please
hide here.
Yes, perfect. Exactly right there. Thank you.
So Lucian clears the village, presses his back against the building that was half destroyed by the huge elemental. And then would you like to hurl a hand axe at Arcane Archer 3, who you can see?
Yes, please. I'd like to just peer around the corner and give it a shot.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just take care of this place on
Oh,
myself.
that is. I did not get a good roll that one. I got a 10.
Yeah, unfortunately that doesn't hit. The Arcane Archer looks up as your hand axe sails over her head, buries itself in the wall behind her, then detaches itself and comes flying back to you.
What's its AC value?
17.
Oh yeah, no
So
way.
go
not
in
even
for your-
close, right?
Go in for your next one.
Alright, that is. That is 11. Don't worry.
11 and your third.
Oh, that is a hit.
That is a hit. Go ahead, roll the damage.
Alright, let's do something called minor damage! Alright, that is 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Well, it's better than nothing, and she's already taken 28 points, so already quite hurt. Okay. It is now the enemy's turn.
Good.
The Blight Druid runs out of the doorway of the burning chieftain's house and casts.
Is my stealth still up?
No, your stealth is not up now because the explosion.
Fair,
They know where it came from.
fair enough.
And he casts Innovate on Bobbit, an inky black tendril
No,
extending-
thank you. No,
Counterspell?
we're just gonna no.
Alright, you cast
No.
Counterspell, the tendril blinks out of existence, and you hear the Blight Druid shout a swear word in ancient Tabaxi.
And Bob goes, hey!
Arcane Archer 2. Yep.
So I saw that as a hostile action.
Yes, so you're gonna
Yes.
cast.
So that. Yep, I'm casting Conjure Animals at 5th level.
Which animal are you conjuring?
I'm conjuring. What level were Panthers again? I forgot. Fuck. The one thing I didn't have up was fucking beasts.
It happens.
I have so many tabs open right now.
See.
Panther
is
a 0.25,
1/4.
which means I can cast 8 at 3rd level, but at 5th level, I can get 16 Panthers.
Yep.
And I have marked where I cast it because the range is 60 feet.
Yep.
So they're all going to get summoned around this area.
Yep. All
And then
in one
they-
group.
Go groups of 4.
Yep. How many groups of 4?
So that was 16, so 4.
So 4 groups of 4. Lovely. Okay. All right.
And their orders are, because I've seen Bobbit over there, attack anyone that attacks Bobbit.
Yep. Okay, so 4 groups of 4. They all appear in the same area. Let me just mark them. So this is P
Sorry.
1 to 4,
Probably should have got them ready for that.
P5 to 8, P9 to 13, and P14 to 18. Okay, Panthers are 9 to 18 rush towards the Blight Druid as soon as they are summoned. The other 2 take off at a sprint across the village towards the other enemies.
Oh, okay.
Arcane Archer 2 stands in the doorway. He raises his bow, and he was going to fire at Bobbit, but now he's going to fire at the Panthers. So he makes a longbow attack. He hits with a non-nat 20, deals 10 points of damage to Panther 9, and then uses his bursting arrow ability to cause that panther and all other creatures within 10 feet of it to take an extra 12 points of damage.
Sucks for the Blight Druid.
So he kills...
But does that include him? Wouldn't that include himself? Because he's within 10 feet of it.
Yeah,
actually.
He will, yeah.
He just fucking fragged himself. Good on him.
So he kills Panther number 9, leaving all the rest of the Panthers on 1 HP, deals 12 points of damage to the Blight Druid, who swears again as the arrows explode, and Bobbit, you are also within 10 feet, so you take 12 points of force damage.
Yeah, no, can't argue with that.
Arcane Archer 1 leaps out of a window, gets a good vantage point on Bobbit, and fires her longbow. That is a 24 to hit.
You know it does.
So you take 7 points of piercing damage.
Are they considered in cover with the, being behind the house there?
Actually, yes, you are. So you may add 2 to your AC.
I mean, that doesn't help me. That only pushes me up to 21.
So you take 7 points of piercing damage. And it's a longbow +1, so it's magical. And then, she is going to use her enfeebling arrow to cause you to take an extra 6 points of necrotic damage as the arrow explodes with necrotic power, and you need to make a DC 13 con save, please.
I'm not having a nice time here. That's a 22.
22, that's a pass, you're fine.
Just shrug it off and just stare at them going, why?
The
Why did you do
enfeebling
that?
arrow didn't work. Okay, Arcane Archer 3 comes out of the hut. She sees Panthers 1 to 8 running at her and fires an arrow at Panther number 1. That is a non-nat 20, so she hits. She deals 8 points of damage and then uses her bursting arrow to cause this Panther and all the others to take 6 points more of damage, killing Panther 1.
Oh no.
Arcane Archer 1 comes running out of the house, runs past Arcane Archer 3, fires her bow at Sir Lucian. And that is a 10, a 19, and a 16, so she doesn't hit either of them. And then Arcane Archer 2 takes up a vantage point in the window and fires her bow at Panther number 2. That is a 23 to hit. Panther number 2 takes 13 points of damage. And then she ends her turn by using her bursting arrow, causing the rest of the Panthers to take 6 points of damage, causing them all to be blasted into the air by the exploding arrow and killed. And that is the enemy's turn. It is now Bobbit's turn.
Okay, well, I considered taking out the Blight Druid, but that archer's annoying me. So, actually, how beat up does the Blight Druid look after getting fragged by her own teammate?
Yeah, quite a bit beaten up.
What to do? I am going to... I might stick behind here for now and cast Eldritch Blast. One at the Archer number 1 and one at the Blight Druid.
Yep, go ahead, roll to hit them.
Okay, the one on the Blight Druid's a nat 20. The one on the Archer's a 15.
Okay, the 15 does not hit. Your Eldritch Blast glances off her +1 studded leather, but the Blight Druid is hit. Go ahead, roll and double.
14 points of force damage.
And that's doubled?
Oh yeah, that was the doubled amount, yeah.
Yep, 14 points. He is still up, but looking quite worse for wear. At the end of Bobbitt's turn, Keeper roars, and begins to shuffle towards the closest enemies.
I was going to say, could I get him to, like, dash for his turn since he's...
Oh, you can if you want. You want him to dash to you?
That would be nice. Some backup would be good with
he
the
just
Panthers.
roars, gets down on all fours and uses his fleshy arms as an extra set of legs as he barrels across the village, standing beside you.
Cool. I'm also going to reactivate my Grim Scythe with my bonus action.
Yep, is now active again.
Okay.
It is now Bolt's turn.
Just counting distances and such.
Mm-hmm.
10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I don't think that's gonna reach. Shit. I've realized a fatal flaw with Bulb.
Is?
He doesn't have many ranged non-concentration spells.
No.
Kind of an issue.
Yeah, it's causing somewhat of an issue at the moment.
Well, feel free to jump in at any time.
I'm trying to think of what I need to do, because I'm trying to take out as many archers as possible. Fuck it. I really want to do this, and I'm probably going to regret it later, but I don't care. I am getting rid of all my wolves, because a lot of them are dead.
Yep, so you just...
And I'm going to cast... Yep. And I'm going to cast... Yes. Call of Lightning at 6th level. And I'm going to hit the Druid.
The Druid? Oh, okay, that Druid's going to roll.
The Druid and the Archer above, because it's anyone within a 5-foot radius of the...
Druid rolled a 15.
To fail.
And the Arcane Archer rolled a 21.
Yeah, I knew the Archer was most likely going to pass, but where are all my fucking Call Lightning? At 3rd level, it is 3d10. At 6th level, that is 6d10. So where is Discord?
Oh my.
6d10. 31. Damage.
31 points of damage. The Druid simply screams as a thunderclap erupts and a bolt of lightning strikes him, instantly taking his life. The Arcane Archer halves that to 15. Is knocked off his feet, but still appears to be alive.
Oh, okay then. He just... Panthers are gone and then lightning shows up. That's happening now.
The debris that was left of the chieftain's house is tossed aside by the lightning bolt, scattered as ash in the raging storm winds. It is now Zinhorn's turn.
So Giant Water is going to come along and try and the
Arcane Archers 1 and 3, yep.
Yep.
So you just surge towards Arcane Archers 1 and 3 and you're going to attempt to whelm them. They are going to make their strength saves. That is a 3 and a 6.
They definitely do not make that. So that is 3d8 plus 6.
Yep.
That's an 8, a 7, and a 7. Wow. 14
6.
plus 8 is 22, plus 6 is 28.
And they are pulled into your watery form, struggling to escape. They cannot. Okay, it is Lucian's turn.
Ooh, okay. I'm just gonna go. Oh shit! Sorry, I accidentally moved.
Yeah, I'll move him back.
All good. I'm currently in cover. There is a big token. So Arcane Archer 1 and 3 are currently in combat.
They're trapped inside Smithy, but you can still attack them if you want, and it'll be with advantage because they're restrained.
Oh, beautiful. Alright. Can I come out from cover and go attack Arcane Archer 1?
Yep, so you rush out, your sword drawn. Go ahead, roll to hit Arcane Archer 1 with advantage. His AC is 17.
That is... Oh, beautiful. That's 17.
17, that's a hit. Roll your damage.
Righty, that's... I lost the bloody sheet. Same problem as before. So many tabs. So many tabs.
I know.
Alrighty, that is 15 points of damage.
Ooh, okay, go in for your next attack.
Alright.
20 tabs open.
I've got the same too. That is definitely another hit. That's 26.
Yep, roll your damage.
Oh, nice. 6, 8, that's 14 points of damage there.
You slash into the giant water elemental, sticking your sword through the Arcane Archer's heart, killing him. You want to try to hit your last attack on Arcane Archer 3?
Oh.
So you're in the same spot.
Oh, wait, I'm just thinking, could I turn that into a sweeping attack?
Ooh, yeah,
that means
go
it'll take
ahead.
the damage from the first one as well.
Yeah, go ahead, spend your superiority dice.
Alright, D10 it is. Okay. That is a 10.
So Arcane Archer 3 takes 10 points of damage, then you have your final attack to hit Arcane Archer 3.
Alright, that next one is an 8. Oh no, it's a 21.
Ooh, nice. Go ahead,
hit.
roll your damage.
Alright, that's another 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage, and Arcane Archer 3 is beheaded. Well done. It is now the enemy's...
Do I take damage from these as well?
No,
or...
you don't. You're fine. It is the enemy's turn. Arcane Archer 2 just stands in the doorway to the building and fires an arrow at the huge water elemental in front of her. So that will be 3 hits, 26 and 2 27s. So you take 32 points of piercing damage as she just lets loose with a volley of arrows.
You get my calculator?
Meanwhile, Arcane Archer 1 is going to fire her longbow at Bobbit. That is a 25 on the first, so that is a hit. So Bobbit takes 13 points of piercing damage.
13.
Fires her second, which is an 11. It doesn't hit. So she's going to end her turn by using her curved shot. She uses her bonus action to re-roll this attack, using her arcane will to force the arrow to curve in midair. She re-rolls it again, and that turns it into a nat 20, unfortunately.
Oh my god! Freaking curve the damn bullet, this bullshit.
She curves the arrow and flies around the corner and slams into you for 18 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Oh, stop shooting arrows at me now!
Arcane Archers are amazing. Like, the player class.
Yes.
So, I can only assume that Arcane Archer is based off of the player class. And they are fucking deadly.
I was gonna say, is this just a fighter subclass?
It is.
Yep. Arcane Archer is
Well, I need to talk to you about my next character.
Arcane Archer 2...
Because this is getting ridiculous.
Arcane Archer 2 stays in the hallway. He raises his longbow and fires it at Teapot. That is a 23 to hit. It hits Teapot. Teapot takes 6 points of piercing damage. And then the Arcane Archer is going to use his arcane shot. As a bonus action, he's going to cause the arrow to explode, dealing 22 points of fire damage to Teapot.
Oh,
He
son of
roars
a...
as he's hit with the fire damage.
Why does everyone automatically know how flesh golems work? He's completely covered. They should be able to tell he's a flesh golem.
It is now Bobbit's turn.
Okay. Literally just looking like a freaking human pincushion. I suppose it's UNT pincushion at this point, because why be disguised out in the middle of nowhere? Still have my scythe. I'm gonna go play with Arcane Archer 1, because this is starting to piss me off.
2's the one who's hurt more.
I know, but one's the one that keeps hitting me.
Yeah.
I'm leaving Arcane Archer 2 for Keeper.
So you just run towards Arcane Archer 1, flailing your scythe. Go ahead.
Do I scythe or do I spell? Do we know if there's anyone that we know? There's no one else left in this village, correct?
No, you haven't seen them. They either have been taken or they're in hiding. Bulb knows where they are.
I meant in terms of enemies.
Yeah, no. This appears to be all that's left.
Okay, well in that case, screw that noise. I'm going to use my. I look like I'm going to swing with the scythe, but then I'm just going to go and cast Inflict Wounds on Arcane Archer 1 because I'm getting really sick of being cushioned by this prick.
Alright, go ahead. Make your melee spell attack.
That is an 18.
That hits.
I'm just gonna, that was, now how much did that cost yesterday? That was, I know it was a lot, but where was it? 7d10, that's it. Roll 7d10 because fuck you. Oh, wow, weak rolls. That's 29 points of necrotic damage.
You lay your hand on the Arcane Archer, and he instantly drops dead.
Just your face explode, bang.
It is Keeper's turn. Keeper moves 5, 10, 15.
That's actually a pretty solid visual right now of just someone coming at you with a scythe instantly touches you and you die.
Yep. And this other one's about to get it too, because Keeper walks up to the remaining Arcane Archer and makes his 2 slam attacks. Both of them hit. He deals 25 points of damage to Arcane Archer 2, turning the person's body into red paste on the other side of the flame-licked building. It is now Bulb's turn.
Oh, right, we still have someone left.
Yeah, still
so
one.
Zooming out.
I'm just seeing if I can move my cloud, because I don't know if I can or not.
Has Xenon gone before?
Bolt goes after me.
Yeah, Zinhorn goes at the start of the round, and we haven't lost this round yet. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if I'd gone between the kind of cool lightning.
Yeah,
I have, yeah.
So, anything Bulb could do?
If I summoned it over here, is that 60 feet to there? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yes, I should be able to hit this guy if I summon the cloud to start here.
Yep, alright.
So I'm just gonna make him make a dexterity check.
Yep, that is a 6.
Oh fuck, he failed.
Yep.
Wow, okay. 6d10. Not d19, thank you very much. 6d10. 41 damage.
41 damage. Crush! The lightning bolt strikes what's left of the burning priest's house, causing it to explode outwards, sheltering Lucian and Zinhorn with pieces of debris. There is nothing left of the Arcane Archer. Combat is over.
I want to make my way to at least one of the archers to inspect the longbow that they have.
Yes.
Xenon just turns around and looks at the bulb and goes, puts his hand up with that was close.
It's just gonna
cut out for me, sorry.
Xenon turns around in giant water form, saying that was close.
Yeah, that was close.
I do the whole finger to thumb really close, and then I do the whole spread my arms out, then back to finger and thumb, then spread my arms out again.
At this point, Zinhorn, you feel the bonds binding you to the other water elemental begin to tear themselves away. You return to your normal size, and the other water elemental dissipates.
I'm a little boy. I drink.
The village is once again quiet. Bulb heads over to one of the corpses of the archers and examines what they have. Bulb, I'd like you to make an investigation check, please.
Zinhorn puts out any fire.
Yes.
Yeah, please do, 'cause I'd like to inspect the
Zinhorn
chieftain's
douses the fire, but at this point the chieftain's hut and the priest's hut are little more than charred twigs and piles of rubble.
Dang.
Or I do the before I do the investigation check, can I use my scroll of greater restoration on myself to get rid of my exhaustion?
You sure can.
Okay. Then my first roll was a 16.
So, you examine several of the corpses in turn. You see that they are all wearing the reddish-brown robes of the Camberhall Tribe. There isn't anything on the robes that suggests that they are enchanted, and there is nothing to give you any reason why they would attack another Chulted tribe. But then, searching one of them, one who may perhaps have been the leader of the group of archers, you notice a silver talisman wedged under the hem of the robe. You lift it out and you recognize the symbol immediately. An armored foot standing upon crossed swords. The symbol of the Order of the Sabaton.
God damn it.
We're going hunting, boys.
In addition, each of the Arcane Arches is wearing a suit of +1 studded leather and carries a +1 longbow.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take one of the +1 longbows because I need a long-range weapon, even though I'm not proficient. So the
that will
+1.
be 5 sets of armor and 5 longbows altogether.
Yay, what? That's sell them later. +1 weapons go for a decent price.
They do.
They do. I'm taking one of the +1s to use though. So.
With the priest's hut and the chieftain's hut both destroyed, you don't bother searching through them. Instead, you congregate in front of the large shrine in the middle of the village. Bulb points out the flattened, discoloured grass, and it certainly seems as if this shrine may be moved. At the foot of the statue is an inscription. It's written in ancient Tabaxi. It reads, "The chief holds the key to safety," and then underneath the inscription is an ornately shaped stone lock. You all breathe an exasperated sigh as you realise that any key that may have been contained within the chieftain's hut
it has been completely ruined, yeah.
leaving the only possible means of getting this lock open to be either thieves' tools or sheer force.
Can I cast Erupting Earth to just loosen it from the foundations?
Yeah, if you want.
I mean, okay, I'll just casually put the thieves' tools back. Okay.
You cast Erupting Earth. The ground around you shakes, and even though the lock itself does not move, the shrine is jostled about an inch from where it stands, and just underneath you can see the edge of a stone stairway. Now all you need to do is push it open. I will require at least 2 of you to pass an athletics check of 18 or more to push it out of the way.
Well, what I can say is water elementals can fit through a gap.
They can, so you can just slide down if you want.
I mean, I could teleport now that I can actually see the staircase.
Yep.
But as far as the rest of the group, yeah. I suppose Keeper and Lucian are the 2 strongest people here.
Yep. So Zinhorn melts into the gap. Bobbit just winks and teleports away, leaving Bulb, Keeper, and Lucian behind. Bulb, I'm sure you want Keeper to do it rather than you.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to sit back and let Keeper and Sir Lucian do what they're going to do before I make any choices to what I'm doing.
So Keeper roars, steps forwards, placing his hands upon the foot of the statue. Lucian, please make an athletics check. and I'll make one for Keeper.
Alright, that is definitely a pass. That's like 25 or
Yep,
something.
and that is a 19 from Keeper. So Lucian and Keeper push, and then with a great scrape, the statue begins to move, allowing 3 of you just enough room to enter.
When you say there's nothing there.
Okay. You scurry down the stone stairway to make your way down into an earthen tunnel below. You just flip to the page of the book.
Oh, nice.
Pretty.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hmm.
You reach the bottom of the stairway and find yourself in a network of earthen tunnels that appear to have been dug under Tamolka village. They are lit with flickering torchlight and glowing green and purple mushrooms. The walls carved with images of Uptown, Tabaxi warriors, and dinosaurs. For every step you take, you see at least 1 or 2 other corridors that branch off from the hall that you are currently on. You have no way of knowing where to go, except for your instinct as adventurers. I'd like one of you to roll a d6, please.
With the way I've been rolling, no.
Alright, fine. 2.
2. This is the number of halls you must traverse before reaching the shrine to Uptown.
Oh.
Situated in the very center of the maze.
Oh. Goal scores, yeah.
You continue walking for another few minutes, and sure enough, you come to a junction. 5 other tunnels branching off from the one you are on, and you have no way of knowing where to go. However, one of you may attempt an insight or survival check, and success will reduce the number of halls remaining by 1.
Oh.
I have a +9 in survival.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. I'm just going to keep pulling arrows out of myself.
And I'm going to be collecting them and adding them to my quiver.
You do.
So
just a conversation in the background.
Natural
just...
20.
Natural 20. So
Jeez, nice.
you pause at this junction. Zinhorn stops, looks around. He takes in the glowing mushrooms, the flickering torches, the carvings of T-Rexes locked in combat with Tabaxi warriors. And then Zinhorn, you feel a subtle ebb and flow of magical energy coming from directly north. You point towards one of the tunnels. That way, you say. And so this reduces the number of tunnels you have to traverse to 1. So the 1 single tunnel. So well done. So you make your way down this tunnel that Zinhorn points out. And as you make your way down it, begins to get narrower. The rock faces begin to move in on themselves, almost as if they're crushing you, until the tunnel is only 2 feet wide, just enough room for you to pass in single file. Who is at the head of the group?
I assume Zinhorn, since he's been leading us at this point.
Yep. Zinhorn, what's your passive perception?
19.
So Zinhorn, as you lead your party down this narrow tunnel, and the torches begin to flicker and die, and the tunnel gets narrower and darker, descending into the earth, now lit only by the ambient light from the glowing mushrooms. You see a portion of the dirt at the end of the tunnel, slightly raised about half an inch, and quickly determine that this is a pressure plate about 2 by 2 feet, taking up the entire width of the tunnel. As you stop and look at it, you look down at your feet, and you then notice that the floor at your feet and the 2 rock walls that flank you are each covered in tiny circular holes. You can see something metallic glimmering in the ambient light inside the holes. What do you do? Presume you're going to point it out to the rest of the party, or at least warn them that this is up ahead.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so Zinhorn, you were able to deftly step over the pressure plate as you saw it, but in the dim light, it's hard for the rest of the party to make out where it is, and they only have your word to go by. So as you gesture with your hands where they have to avoid stepping, I would like everyone else to please make an acrobatics check.
Self 20. Wow, even with disadvantage.
5.
Yikes.
Okay. Bulb
I am not an extras giant.
Bulb happens to be up next, and despite trying not to step on the pressure plate that Zinhorn has pointed out, Bulb, your great size makes it hard for you to estimate distance. And so you find the back of your heel pressing into the pressure plate. There is suddenly a loud click, and out of all of the holes, sharp spikes shoot out. I'd like everyone to make dex saves, please.
Oh no.
Oh, that's better. Where was that roll before?
Yeah, I have the opposite problem. That's
soft 20.
Soft
10.
10. And how did Sir Lucian go? 12. Okay. So those of you who got above 16 are able to duck out of the way just in time, roll across the floor to the end of the tunnel, and you take 12 points of piercing damage. The rest of you are skewered by the spikes, and you take skewered by the spikes, your skin and clothing well and truly pierced before you're able to wrench yourself away, and you take 24 points of piercing damage.
Is that magical or non-magical?
It is non-magical, so you take 12.
Oh, thank God. I imagine at that point we've finally gone, hooray, finally got all those arrows out of me. That kind of hurts. Stab. Why? Ow.
Zinhorn just silently shakes his head and then leads you further into the tunnel network.
Yes, Zinhorn takes half the damage because of water elemental.
That is right, yes.
Just real quick. The leather armor, is that 2 slots in your inventory?
Yeah, 2 slots because it's a set of armor. Okay, that's the village. I don't need to go back to that. I went to the wrong map.
Whoops, today's.
It's studded or normal?
It's studded.
Cool. I'm just adding it all to my inventory.
Okay. You continue onwards. Eventually the tunnel begins to widen out once again, and you see the flickering flames of more torches yet ahead. You see a big black stone archway at the end of the tunnel, and beyond it, some sort of shrine. Walking into the flickering firelight, you step beyond the arch, into the shrine beyond. The ground here is decorated with colourful urns, candles, and tapestries. Ritual carvings line the floor, leading to a draped, broken wooden altar at the back of the shrine that has been neatly cleaved in 2. Standing in front of you are 5 figures. 2 of them Arcane Arches wearing the same armour, wielding the same magical bows of the ones you saw up above in the village. They are flanking an elderly man with a long white beard wearing the grey robes of the Obanachi Clan. The markings on his robes indicate his status as the village elder and the sage. This is Wainwrath. In front of him, their backs turned to you, are two armoured figures. A large, thickly built humanoid with red scales, a dragonborn wielding a greatsword, and beside him, a man clad in pitch black plate armour, the symbol of the Order of the Sabaton emblazoned on his shoulder pads. They appear to be in the process of interrogating Wainwrath. The half-dragon has the blade of his greatsword held towards Wainwrath's throat, while Gavori barks orders. The heart of the wild! Tell us, where can we find it? Wainwrath whimpers and shakes the feet of these men. They do not appear to have noticed you entering the shrine. What will you do?
He should have healed before coming here. This is a problem.
Well, when battle commences, I want to run in and do something. So, if the others have a plan on what to do, I'll wait for their signal to start the fight.
Yep. What is your plan?
What size is the main guy?
He looks to be medium. He's a humanoid. Without seeing his face, you can't tell, but he has the build of very possibly a half-orc.
And the dragonborn next to him?
The dragonborn next to him, also medium, but rather thickly built.
Well, Zinhorn's plan is when things kick off, he's going to rush up and try and whelm the two main one and the dragonborn together.
Yep. So far you guys just want to rush in, just catch them by surprise. You don't want to announce your presence or anything. Maybe try to talk this through.
It wouldn't be in our best interest.
Yeah, that's
Just
fine.
surprise.
I don't really have much in the way of plans, and I'm also kind of running low on health, so I'm just going to be backing up you guys from a distance since I keep getting my ass kicked and it hurts.
Alright,
okay.
entirely up to you.
I should have healed. I probably could have animated dead and brought some extra friends with us. That would have been a
You
good
don't want
idea.
to announce your presence? You want to take advantage of this and just draw your weapons and set upon them?
I don't know. Does anyone wish to talk to these guys?
Zinhorn wants to catch like the main two so that it's just the archers
I
to deal with.
I do have suggestion which could possibly help us, but I'm not sure how. Plus, I'm pretty sure if that's a paladin, then he'll probably completely and utterly ignore me anyway. If I tried using it on him.
That's fair.
Oh wait, no, it's a
Absolutely.
wisdom saving throw, not charisma. For some reason, I thought it was.
I'll use Know Your Enemy.
You can use Know Your Enemy if you like. What would you like to know about him?
What he's up to next weekend, preferably.
Which enemy would you like to
can I-
know about?
I would like to know. Okay. Gavori.
Gavori, if you study his armor for a moment, call your tactical knowledge to the forefront of your mind, and you realize that his armor is in the style of a Dreadmaster, a high-level former paladin who has turned towards evil. He would have the ability to smite you, paladin spells, and he would also have the ability to project an aura of dread that may cause anyone attacking him to feel frightened of him.
That doesn't sound very nice.
His
That
armor
is who I
class
wanna
would
kill.
be his armor class of his plate armor will be 18.
Alright, you got this.
Alright, you guys want to just launch in? Attack?
Let's go to town.
Very well.
Yeah,
Please roll for initiative.
I can see this going so wrong though, but
Yeah.
it's our MO at the moment. It's our current MO, so
At least you can't blame me for this one.
it's true.
24.
Oh, fuck. I got a 19.
19.
I'll take that.
Self 20.
20, yep. 24 for Zinhorn. And Sir Lucian.
24.
24. Oh yeah, okay, alright, so Zinhorn and Lucian will be up first, but, okay, and it is a surprise round for you. As you rush into the room, Gavori has just, well, you don't know his name is Gavori, you just, as you rush into the room, Wainwrath sees you approaching, he calls out, "Please save me from Gavori!" And you notice that Wainwrath is heavily beaten to within an inch of his life. He is unable to fend for himself. Gavori, the half-dragon veteran, and the two Arcane Arches turn around and have just enough time to raise their weapons before you charge into the room. Zinhorn, you are up first. Even though it is a surprise round, Gavori is projecting his aura of dread, which means any creature hostile to the Dreadmaster that starts its turn within 20 feet of the Dreadmaster must succeed on a DC 15 saving throw or become frightened. So you must start your turn by making a Wisdom save, please.
Alright, so Wisdom save is a 14 plus, what's my Wisdom save?
Yep, so you pass.
Yep.
So as you charge into the room, Gavori turns around, he raises his sword, and then the symbol of the Order of the Sabaton that's emblazoned in gold on his black chest plate begins to glow a sinister red, sending his aura of dread throughout the room. But you steel yourself and keep running forwards. What will you do?
I'm rushing up to whelm both the Dragonborn and the main guy.
Yep, so you rush, sweep over the broken altar, and you're going to attempt to whelm the Dragon Veteran and Gavori. Gavori rolled a 29 on his strength save.
Okay.
And the half-dragon veteran rolled an 18.
Yikes.
They see you coming, and as you splash at them with water, they step back, grab their swords, hold them in front of them, and stand firm. You are unable to whelm them. That is your turn done. It is Sir Lucian's turn, and Sir Lucian, you must start with a Wisdom save, please.
So, let's Wisdom the shell. No. And if we fail that?
If you fail that, his aura of dread frightens you, and you cannot attack Gavori. You are too afraid to attack Gavori, and furthermore, you cannot get any closer to him, so you have to stay here.
Dear.
Maybe try to attack the veteran or the archers instead.
If you have an inspiration point...
Yeah, if you have an
solution,
inspiration, you have
it
2
might be-
left, you can re-roll it.
Ooh, yes.
Alright,
I
spend
shall.
an inspiration, re-roll that.
Yes, please. That is... Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
And roll or worse. Oh dear.
You want to spend another inspiration, your last one.
Yes!
Go ahead,
Okay.
re-roll
I have
again.
no more inspo points. This bastard's gonna get hit. You have gotta be fucking shitting me.
Alright,
What?
so
6.
he
Wow.
turns around. You see the symbol emblazoned on his chest glowing red, and you're about to rush towards him. But then the aura of dread hits you, stop in your tracks, and you know you are not a true knight. This is a true knight, and you shall kneel before him. You can only attack the half-dragon veteran or the Arcane Arches, and you cannot move any closer to Gavori, so who would you like to throw your hand axe at?
Yeah, I'll just throw it at the veteran.
Yep, alright, go ahead, roll to hit him.
Alright, that is a 20.
That's a hit, roll the damage.
Alrighty. D8. No, D6. Alright, that is 9 points of damage there.
9 points, yep, 2 more attacks to go.
Alright, that's 13. What's his AC?
18, so unfortunately the axe bounces off his plate armor, flies back through the air, and you catch it, and you throw it a third time.
The second one, that's... Oh, that's nice. That's a 28.
Lovely, roll your damage.
12 points of damage there.
12, nice. Okay, Bulb, it is your turn. Start with a wisdom save, please.
Sorry, what was Bulb's initiative?
19.
Well, I guess. Oh, no, I got a soft 20.
Oh, okay, yep. So Bobbit, you're up next. Wisdom save.
Sorry.
And once
Wait,
again,
didn't you say didn't you say within
5,
20
10,
feet?
15. Oh yeah, no, you're just out of range. You're fine.
Cool. Well, he's in range of one of my spells, so I'm actually going to basically look straight at Gavori and go. If we're down here, it means that your other men have failed you. You should attack these ones for their failure and cast Suggestion on him.
Ooh, okay. Keep in mind, he is a paladin. He's going to have barely 5 wisdom.
I was hoping I was working on charisma.
Oh yeah, charisma. Yeah, no, he does have high charisma. I'm mistaken.
It is a wisdom save though. So...
That is a 13.
And he fails.
What suggestion did you make?
Basically, if his other men failed him, then these guys will fail him as well. So he should attack them for their failures.
He turns around, raises his sword, and he says, "Failures! Secure the situation upstairs!" The 2 Arcane Arches nod and rush out of the room.
Oh, that's not what I thought he was going to do at all. I literally said attack, but okay.
He's not going to attack. Suggestion doesn't really work like that, but...
I know, but it's still... it does say pursue the course of action to the best of its ability. Fair.
He orders them out of the room, and they leave, leaving Gavori and his right-hand man, the half-dragon.
Well, I suppose
he
it's
turns
still...
towards you, realizes what you've done, and under his...
No, I was going to say, my thing lasts for like 8 hours.
It does,
so...
yeah, that's right. He turns towards you, red eyes burning under his solid black helm, and he just barks, "I do not need tribals to defend me. I am a knight of the Order of the Sabaton. I will kill you all myself."
Should we tell him what happened to his actual group, or do we just... okay.
Up to you. You can tell him if you want.
Yeah, but they'll probably just be mad at us for scattering his group.
It is now Bulb's turn, and Bulb is out of range of the Aura of Dread.
Wait, doesn't Keeper get to go?
Oh yeah, Keeper does get a turn. So Keeper's gonna go.
Yeah, that boy ain't frightened by shit anyway.
15, 20. He walks up to the half-dragon veteran and slams his fists at him. That is both of his blows just glance off the veteran's armor, rocking him, but dealing no damage.
Oh dear.
It is now Bulb's turn.
Wouldn't Keeper have needed to do a wisdom save?
No, he can't be frightened.
Yeah,
he's immune to being frightened.
Alright, well,
fear.
Bonus action, Thorn Shape.
Yep.
So I get 33 hit points, temporary. That's a bonus action. I'm going to walk forward into the zone of fear.
Yep. Make your wisdom save, please.
That is a 19.
Yep. So you see the symbol glimmering. You see this man, the current epitome of the Order of the Sabaton, perhaps all that's left of the Order. He is staring at you and it means nothing. What would you do?
Then I'm going to walk over here.
Yep.
And I'm going to cast Contagion on Gavori.
Ooh, nice. Make a melee spell attack, please.
That is a 25. It was a 14 natural. 25.
Yep. Okay. That is a hit.
Okay, I'm going to hit him with Slimy Doom. So, begins to bleed uncontrollably. The creature has disadvantage on Constitution.
Yep.
Disadvantage on trying to save from this. In addition, whenever he takes damage, he is stunned until the next turn. Until the end of his next turn.
Oh, okay.
So he can immediately make a Constitution saving throw now.
Yep.
He needs to pass 3 to stop this happening to him.
Yep.
If he fails 3, this lasts for 7 days.
So the first was a 21?
Yep. So, and then on his next turn, he gets to make another one.
Yep. Okay, so that's
he
Bulb's
passes
turn.
the first one. That is my turn, yes.
Yep, so Zinhorn, you're up.
And I will be right back.
So, since the whelm didn't work, he doesn't get it back. I'm just going to do a couple of slams.
Alright, on the half-dragon veteran or on Gavori?
On Gavori.
Yep, go ahead.
So the first one is a 17 plus 7.
That's a hit.
So, that's not right one. It's these one. That's a whopping 9 points of damage.
Nice. What's better than nothing? Go ahead and see what else
round
he has.
2 is a was an 8 plus 7. So
Yep, so
15.
unfortunately that won't hit. Your water just splashes off his armor. Okay, it is Sir Lucian's turn again. So Lucian, you need to make another wisdom save to see if you can break out of this fear.
Oh, he is not doing well today, Mr. Lucian.
That
That is... What do I need?
15.
15? Well, I rolled a 10. So, yeah,
Yep.
not
So,
this time.
unfortunately, same as last turn, you can only throw a hand axe at the veteran, so go ahead.
Alright, that is a 24. So
That
that's
is a
definitely
hit. Roll your damage.
Alright, that's 10 points in the first one. Second attack.
Yeah, this is the last encounter, M2.
Yeah. I just wasn't saying to say that loud.
Alright, second roll fail. Third
Yep.
roll. Third roll's a fail.
Okay, so unable to strike him, and he just laughs. Okay, it is the
He's like,
enemy's turn.
Tell me Zinhorn managed to hit Gavori.
Yep, he did, but it is the half.
He's stunned.
Yeah, he's stunned. It is the
Yeah,
half.
until the end of his turn. Sorry.
Yep. It is the half-dragon veteran's turn. He roars and lets loose a fire breath. I need Zinhorn, Bulb, Lucian, and Bobbit to all make dex saves, please.
As much as this sucks, I'm glad the keeper's out of the way, because that would mess him up.
As he
I
exhales
need to.
fire in a huge cone in front of him.
It goes straight towards us.
Yeah.
Actually,
It immediately goes 10 feet to the right of him.
It goes. So, it goes.
Because a cone
Yeah.
starts at the person.
Oh, actually, yeah, Bulb, you're
Right.
out. So it's just Zinhorn,
I feel
Lucian,
it.
and Bobbit. Yep.
Bummer. That is a 21 save. So I'm just gonna literally duck behind Sir Lucian and go, "Yep, you got this.
Yep. Okay.
Protect me, Scuttlebutt."
And how did Sir Lucian go on his dex
I
save?
got 11, so
11?
I think I failed this one.
Yep, so Sir Lucian, you take 34 points of fire damage. Bobbit, you take 17.
I'm really glad I passed that, because that would have knocked me out.
Got a
It is-
16.
Yep,
16.
so you also take 17 points, Zinhorn.
Ow.
Okay, so it is now Gavori. Actually, no, he does that as a bonus action. So now he's going to raise his longsword.
He's
And-
stunned.
Oh no, it's not. No,
The
the
Gavori's
the
done.
the dragon.
The other guy.
the dragon.
Oh, the dragon. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So he's going to raise his longsword and make 2 attacks at Zinhorn. The first is a 10, so it misses. The second is an 11, so it misses. It is Gavori's turn. He is stunned. It is.
He does get to make his Constitution saving
get
throw
to
though,
make
but
his
it's with
con
disadvantage.
Yep. So that is going to be an 18.
Oh, he just
Two.
made it.
No.
That's
So
okay. You still have one round to do
Yep.
as much damage as we
He's
can to
still
him.
stunned. It is now Bobbit's turn.
So he's stunned, and we need to do a crap ton of damage to him. Yes.
Yes.
Well, in that case, Bobbit's going to pull out the
Yes.
well as a bonus. Oh, yeah, wand of magic missiles, and would humbly request if people could start healing her because she is not in a good way right now.
Okay, go ahead.
This
Wands of
fire
magic
ba-
missiles.
And you know what? Let's go 7th level just to be safe. I will make sure I roll to see if the wand just gets destroyed or not. So that's 12d4 plus 12.
Yep.
So he can take 47 points of that's one's in there, but he can take 47 points of force damage, and I'll now roll to see if the wand remains intact or not. That's a 10, so that stays intact. Thankfully.
The magic missiles slam into his armor, chipping bits of it away. He stumbles but remains on his feet, his eyes burning bright red behind his visor.
Yeah, well, that's wonderful. He still can't do anything with his turn now, because he's stunned again.
It's Keeper's turn. He roars.
Yeah,
The Keeper slams his fists into the half-red dragon veteran. And that's going to be a 26 and a 25, so 2 hits. So the half-veteran takes 22 points of damage. And he's looking quite beaten up at this point. Keeper just roars. It is Bulb's turn.
Okay.
I think you guys have this boss fight well and truly fight up.
I'm going to take 5 feet north.
Yep. Standing
Oh, he's stunned, so he can't actually hit me.
No, he can't.
Northeast. So,
Northeast, yes. Gavori can't hit you.
Yep, I'm going to pull out my Javelin of Lightning, which I got as a gift from the Emerald Enclave.
Nice.
And I'm going to throw it at Keeper.
At Keeper to
Even
heal him.
better.
Okay,
Yeah,
roll
so
to hit him.
we're going to catch Keeper.
Javelin of Lightning, as soon as I throw it, turns into a lightning bolt. So it travels through Gavori and the half-dragon. They need to make dex saves, but Gavori's stunned, so I don't know if that means
I don't think he can do anything.
Yeah, he can't. Yeah.
He can't do shit. Fuck him up.
And if I hit Keeper's AC, it automatically hits him, and he gets the lightning and piercing. So the lightning would hopefully heal him.
Oh, you don't have to roll high. His AC is like 9.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, you got this. Up
Yeah, I got
great.
an unnatural 20.
Yep, that's a hit.
So-
that hits both him and Gavori.
Yep. So Gavori didn't get a dex save. The dragon does.
Yep, the dragon's going to make a dex save.
And I believe that Javelin actually has a set
The
DC.
half-red dragon got 20 on his dex save.
Yeah, he passes.
Yep, roll your
Okay,
damage.
so that is 4d6 for the lightning.
Yep.
That's 1, 2, 3 that I have there. Where's my 4th? There it is. So lightning was 2, 5, 8 damage for the lightning, which wasn't great, but you know it's better than nothing.
Yep.
And the physical was 1.
Okay, so
Plus my strength, which is
health is health.
plus 2, so 3.
Yep.
So there you
Okay,
go.
so you hurl the javelin, it turns into a band of lightning. Surging through the room, it hits Gavori and then surges past the half-dragon, hits the flesh golem Teapot. He immediately stands upright and roars. Roar! He gains 9 hit points, and also his next attack will be made with advantage.
Oh, nice. And he currently has a javelin sticking out of him,
He currently has
which
javelin
I will
sticking out of him.
remember
he's
to recover later.
Yeah. Just yank
Is
it out of him.
now Zinhorn's
That was
turn.
an attack, so I actually get another attack.
Oh, you do, yeah, you do.
I'm going to I forgot that I need to be within 5 feet, so I'm just going to take another step towards Kavori and just hit him with my staff.
Go ahead.
Go for the bonks.
If he's stunned, is that advantage? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he can't do
cool.
anything about it. He's literally just going, should move, can't move. Awkward. Bang.
That is a 23.
That's a hit. Roll your damage.
And that's a D8. That is 6 plus 2, so that's just 8 damage, but 8 better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. Brings him down to 42 HP.
I'll take that.
Okay, it is Zinhorn's turn.
I'd say Wong Gavori now if you can, since he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, you get advantage on your slams if you try to slam him, Zinhorn. You might be muted if you don't know. Smithy.
Yes.
There we go.
Always muted.
Yep.
It happens.
So, I rolled and got my whelm back whilst I was muted.
Yep. So you're going to try to whelm them again?
And I am going to try and whelm them. And so he's stunned, you said?
Yep, so he gets disadvantage on his...
So this creature
actually, stunned, he gets no
automatically
save
fails.
whatsoever.
He automatically fails. The...
Yep.
Wow.
Words.
Meanwhile, the half-red dragon veteran got an 8.
Oh, good, even better.
So run them both up, please.
Yep.
This, yeah.
Go ahead,
this
roll
is,
your damage.
What is Zinhorn is just fucking amazing.
2d8 is a 7 plus 4 is 11 points of damage, and suck them up.
Yep, 11 points of damage, lovely, and you suck them up. Both of them are still alive. The red dragon is struggling while Gavori just sits there still, allowing you to suck it.
Just sitting there, just looking angry, going, "Yep, this is me."
This is the best thing I could have done to him.
It is the enemy's turn. The half dragon's going to roll to see if he gets his fire breath back. He does. And instead of trying to break out, he knows he is doomed. So instead, he unleashes another fire breath. I need Zinhorn, Lucian, and Bobbit to please roll dex saves.
I was gonna say, that's not something I could counter with counterspell, is it?
No, it is rage.
Oh shit, it ain't crap. Oh, well, this is where Bobbit gets knocked the fuck out. That was a nat 1.
Yep, that's Sir
So
You want to
Lucian.
borrow a banana?
17.
Alright, so...
Oh, it's getting KO'd.
So Zinhorn takes 14 points, Lucian takes 14 points of fire damage, Bobbit, you take 28 points of fire damage.
Bob down.
Make a death save,
And I'll be to
please.
heal you.
And that's...
inside water that the water absorbs all the fire.
Yep.
No. This is gonna be the fun part though, because I rolled a 19 on the death save, so Bobbit goes down and then immediately pops back up with
again,
another with about 7 HP. It's just sitting there, he, like, gets knocked out, immediately opens the eyes back and goes,
We're gonna get up again.
It is now Sir
Why?
Lucian's turn. So Lucian, you need to make a wisdom save.
Oh, my suggestion's gone, by the way, but at this point it's
Yeah.
not really important.
Oh, fuck that. Alright, magic banana.
Alright, go
What,
ahead.
you gonna one?
Hurl your hand
I'm gonna
axe. Hurl your
Wait.
hand axe at the half-dragon veteran.
I just love that this guy's just hanging there
His motion, Gavori is motionless, sitting inside a war elemental, and Solution's still like, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm rolling on 8 HP at the moment, so...
Holy shit, you're
Oh my
just
god.
wow. The two of us back here are
I
getting the
wanted to
shit
use
kicked
up
out of us.
my hit dice last time, but I didn't get around to doing it, so...
Oh,
Well,
yeah, you
that's-
forgot to
wow,
take a short
okay.
rest.
good,
Failed
yes.
that second one, and...
Yeah, and the third.
Bink.
The third
Bink.
is most definitely a hit. That's
Yeah,
nice.
go ahead, roll the damage.
Woo. Good. Oh, fuck that. That's 7 points of damage.
That's okay, that was enough to kill the half-dragon veteran. You fling the
God.
axe forwards, surges
You
through the folds
bastard.
of water elemental Zinhorn and lands buried in his mouth. It is Bobbit's turn.
Okay, so you said you had disadvantage on con saves at the moment with that whole slimy doom crap, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, dang, yeah, well, I mean, I could do that one if I get close to him, but, how beat up is he looking?
He's currently sitting on less than 30 hit points.
Well, you know what? I'm considering he's currently whelmed and can't really move or anything. Bobbit's gonna do her best to walk up to Mr. Gavori,
Yep.
just sort of half limp over. I suppose. Do I have to roll still to get close to him?
Yes you do.
Okay, what was I trying to beat?
15 on your wisdom
I
save.
rolled exactly a 15.
Yep, so you're fine. You
So
feel
Lucian's the
influence.
only one that can't
Yeah.
get close to him.
You feel the
And-
evil paladin's force.
Yeah,
Battering
literally
you,
after
but-
everything else we've been through, this guy thinking he can scare us off is just, yeah, no. Just sitting there in a
Working with
UNT form
Lucian.
going, oh, yeah, I'm finally going to get to use a spell I haven't been able to do since we got here going, hey guys, you know a fun thing that UNTs can do? You just watch as her jaw just unhinges and just vomits up a whole pile of just poison at directly at Gavori's face as she casts poison spray on him.
Yep. Make a range spell
He has
attack.
to make a con save.
Yeah, which
With
he's got
disadvantage, please.
disadvantage. So that's going to be an 18 and a nat 1.
Well, nat 1. I'll take that nat 1. Thank you very gladly. So he can take 2d12 poison damage.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's not going to kill him, but it's definitely just going to be literally vomiting poison in his face. So that's going to be 19 points of poison damage there.
Okay, he has 8 hit points left. Bold. Oh wait, no, Keeper.
Nope, Keeper. Go get him, buddy.
So Keeper just stands
Take his head
forwards.
off.
Keeper just stands forwards, raises his hands, and roars. Keeper rolls with advantage.
Come on, Bubby.
That is a 24 and a nat 20.
Yes! Tear his goddamn head off!
Keeper deals 36 points of damage.
No. Wait, better yet. Give him a hug.
Yeah, Keeper deals 36 points of damage as he reaches his hands into the folds of the water elemental, wraps his arms around Gavori, and pulls him out of the water elemental with such force that you all just hear a sickening squelch as the man's torso is separated from his legs.
Oh my god,
just for theatric ability, Zinhorn starts like melting down as he falls out. And just
I just realized something. Gavori did literally nothing in that fight.
Yeah,
he
did it.
We just fucking nerfed his ass.
Has
the only thing
and then
that you
Keeper
keep
killed him.
Lucian.
Because you know, he scared Lucian into not being able to move, and then Keeper killed him with a goddamn hug. Death by her.
As Keeper tosses Gavori's upper half onto the stone floor, his armor begins to disintegrate into ash, leaving nothing behind. You realize with a shudder that inside of Gavori's suit of armor was nothing, just his sheer force of will animating him.
Okay, that's neat. Can I take notes on that?
Yes.
That's insane.
The armor burns away, fades away, leaving nothing but lines of ash on the stone floor in the shape of the Sabaton symbol.
So there was no body inside the armor, it was just...
Nope.
What the hell?
Wainwrath looks at...
Oh yeah, he was an Oathbreaker paladin.
Yeah. Wainwrath looks over at the collapsed armor, looks at you, and his weathered, aged face just shakes. He shakes his head, he frowns, and he says, Shadowfell magic, the influence of the void. And with that, he sinks into a dead faint. But he is alive. He is safe. You have saved Wainwrath, and in the room beyond this shrine, the survivors of Tamulka Village. That concludes this session. You all level up to 12.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh yeah. Sorry. Level 10 Warlock, man, shit's about to get real.
That concludes the first session of our Lost City of Mesrow module. We'll be back the week after next for more D&D. For those listening, we don't have D&D next week, but we do have Vampire the Masquerade, so be sure to tune in for power struggles and lawful evil shenanigans as Roger expands his influence over Chicago's homeless, and Barry continues to undermine his touchstone's great grandfather.
Show up next week where I intentionally play a bad guy as opposed to this one where I just accidentally play a bad guy by mistake.
But until then, if you're an Oathbreaker paladin, don't move. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.